It's a Friday night. We are in Minneapolis, and it's time for Minnesota Vikings football. Now that is a winning trifecta. It's the third preseason game. It's the Vikings and Seattle Seahawks. Good evening. Pete Bursich, Paul Allen, former players Ben Lieber, and Greg Coleman join shortly from the sidelines. How about the debut this evening of the great Dalvin Cook?
Well, I know the stadium is going to erupt when he gets back on the field, Paul. Get him in there, get him a run, get him a reception, get him in some pass protection, and then take him out and get him ready for San Francisco.
Defensive lineman Ifeadi Odenigbo may not be as prominent as Dalvin, but he's good.
He's very important because last week he played an awesome three technique and defensive end. That's the kind of versatility you need in a backup defensive lineman, and I'm liking him on this roster.
Tonight, not only do you get to see Kirk Cousins, you get to hear Kirk Cousins because he's mic'd up.
Feel good, man. I'll feel better. Get some completions, get rolling. One play at a time, stay patient, take what they give us, have fun doing it.
Preseason football is presented by Miller Lite, official beer of the Minnesota Vikings. By U.S. Bank, uniting fans, creating possibilities. That's the power of possible. And by Twin Cities Orthopedics, official sports medicine provider of the Minnesota Vikings.
Hey, what's going on? Welcome to Minneapolis. It's the third preseason game, and it's the Vikings and the Seattle Seahawks. Welcome to Fox 9. Welcome to KFAN Radio and all throughout the Minnesota Vikings radio network. Ben Lieber, Greg Coleman, Pete Bursich, Paul Allen. Very happy to simulcast this game this evening. Speaking of Ben, let's get his thoughts. Ben?
Thanks a lot, PA. Yeah, this game to me is not about a specific player on our team, but about Russell Wilson and how the defense can contain him. Listen, this guy was the leading passer of touchdowns last year in the NFL, but he's also the leading rusher for the Seattle Seahawks at almost 600 yards. He can do so much throwing the football, but also extending plays and using his legs. How does this defensive front stay disciplined in the rush lanes to limit his scrambling ability, but also the guys in the back end of the defense, they have to have eye discipline so they don't allow any plays over the top. Big test on Russell Wilson. And for more on the situation with the Vikings running backs, here's our Greg Coleman.
Guys, now everybody knows that Murray and Cook are going to carry the load for the Vikings out of the backfield, but there's an interesting battle going on between two rookies, Rock Thomas and Mike Boone. Now, Rock has people saying, boy, it reminds me an awful lot of Jerick McKinnon, the former running back, with his moves and speed. Now, Boone, he runs with power, passion, and purpose. His blocking, well, it's solid, too. Now, both have the ability to play for the Vikings or someone else in the National Football League, but as camp draws to a close, one thing is for sure, a spot on this team will go down to the wire. Now back upstairs to Paul and Pete.
All right, guys, thanks a lot. The Seahawks won the toss, deferred, and the Vikings will get the ball first. Here's the behemoth, Sebastian Janikowski. 18 years with the Oakland Raiders, one of the great kickers in the history of the National Football League. He's now with the Seattle Seahawks, all 261 pounds of him. He'll kick it away to Craig James, undrafted from Southern Illinois. Mike Hughes is not playing tonight. And the third preseason game is underway. James trying to make a splash, fields the kickoff from the goal stripe, heads near side to the 10, to the 15, to the 20, and he's taken down at the 22-yard line. It is a 22-yard return for Craig James. The Vikings' first offense heads to the field. Rashad Hill returns at right tackle, and making his preseason debut at right guard is Mike Remmers. There's Kirk Cousins, a very inauspicious game against Jacksonville. 3 of 8, 12 yards, sacked once. His 3 completions went to C.J. Ham, Latavius Murray, and Laquan Treadwell. Kirk goes out of the shotgun empty backfield to begin the third preseason game. 3 receivers right and make that left, and 2 off to the right. Dalvin Cook makes his debut. Cousins looks over the middle, and it's caught by Stephon Diggs at the 30. That'll be a gain of 9 yards, making it 2nd and 1. Dalvin Cook, number 33, making his preseason debut. Second year from Florida State. The last time Dalvin played, October 1st in this building against the Detroit Lions. Early in the third quarter, he tore his ACL and sadly was lost for the season. Dalvin finished the season with 2 rushing touchdowns. He's the single set. The quarterback, Kirk Cousins, on 2nd and short, facing a 3-man front for the Seattle Seahawks. Here's Dalvin's first carry, and he's buried right at the line of scrimmage. Dalvin Cook hit, and he was hit hard by Jefferson. It's no gain, 3rd and short.
Now we'd like to see Dalvin Cook to get that yard, but the Seattle Seahawks I think everybody in this building knew that Dalvin Cook was going to get the football. So Seattle Seahawks blitzing their linebackers hard, just no cutback lane for Dalvin Cook. So on this big key third down, we want to convert this, Paul, to keep Cousins on the field. That first pass to Diggs, that was a rocket in between the linebacker and the safety.
The nose tackle for Seattle, we are very familiar with him. He is Shamar Stephen, longtime Viking. Third and short, Cousins under center, Cook is the tailback. Couple of tight ends, handoff to Dalvin, and he scoots up the middle, spins off a Seahawk, and is close to the first down, but I do not believe he got it. Dalvin Cook's preseason debut features a couple of carries, both up the middle, and
signaled to move the chains.
I know, but it looked like he was short, didn't it, Peter?
Yeah, from the original spot, the side judge has come out and moved the chains. And this is all Dalvin Cook. Seattle blitzing the linebackers again, trying to get that penetration. And Dalvin Cook spins off that first tackler, keeps that momentum going. So great job by Dalvin Cook to battle and scratch and get that yard to get the first down.
So it's a first down for the Minnesota Vikings. Cook stays in. Likewise for Cousins, who is mic'd up tonight. He's out of the shotgun. Facing a blitz. Kirk on an extremely deep drop throws it away. Mike Remmers was out in the right flat, and he was blocking as they tried to set up a screen. There's Tom Johnson. Shamar Stephen and Tom Johnson, a couple of defensive tackles, former members of the Minnesota Vikings. And Tom had a nice run here from 2014 to 2017, had 16 sacks. 98, Shamar Stephen, fifth year from UConn. He was a 7th round pick by the Vikings in 2014. It's second and 10. Latavius Murray checks in for Dalvin Cook. Stephon Diggs wide left. Adam Thielen sands a reception in the preseason is right. Diggs goes in motion on second and 10. Play action. Kirk looks to pass left, and the ball is swatted out of the air, and it was knocked down by Barkevious Mingo, the former Brown and Patriot, and now it's third and long.
Well, it's too bad, too, because the Vikings had Stephon Diggs running out into the flat. He was wide open, but that's that hard outside play action with what they call a naked bootleg. And Seattle, Paul, has blitzed almost every single down early in this game. So they're being very, very aggressive. So there got to be some changes from the play calling side on the Minnesota Vikings offense to try to slow that group down.
Minnesota 1 of 1 on third down, 0 of 12 last game against Jacksonville. Just underway from Minneapolis, the ever important third preseason game. 2 receivers left. Thielen is slot left. Cousins facing another blitz, fires over the middle, caught Stephon Diggs, and he's on the run, spinning away from a Seahawk far side, and with determination, it's Stephon Diggs for a Vikings first down.
And Rashad Hill, after the play, kind of limping back into the huddle. We need him to be healthy, but what a great job by Kirk Cousins, Paul, to read the field, see the blitz coming, and just get that ball off. Throws it off his back foot, but still gets it on time to Stephon Diggs. And Stephon, it's the preseason. Don't try to spin out and do too much. Get that first down, move the chains, and let's get to the next play.
Kendall Wright late to run into the game and subsequently the huddle. 9 on the play clock. Head coach Mike Zimmer is not happy. Now we're down to 5, make it 4. 0-0 first quarter, first drive of the game. Cousins gets the play off, hands it to Latavius Murray, and he skirts to the right side to the bottom part of the logo, heading to the east side of US Bank Stadium. Latavius Murray for a gain of 4. Latavius wants to bounce back from those 2 fumbles against the Jags.
He does, and minus those 2 fumbles, Paul, he's looked outstanding. Notice he has 2 hands on the ball as he's going through that defensive line for added protection. You know he was going to get, he's a veteran, he's going to get that fixed during the week. He wants to continue to get those carries. But north and south, he looks like a different guy than he did a year ago.
Cousins shotgun, 3 receivers left. Rudolph, Thielen, and Kendall Wright. A couple to the right, Latavius Murray goes in motion and joins Laquan Treadwell. Cousins with a wide receiver screen left to Thielen, his first preseason catch. Shakes a tackle at the 50 into Seahawks territory, and he's taken down at the 43-yard line. Adam Thielen, a gain of 11 and another Vikings first down.
Paul, we're seeing the benefit of a veteran quarterback with an aggressive Seattle defense. We're starting to hurt him now on the quick screens, and that's really what that was, just a quick screen outside to Adam Thielen, who, after the catch, almost had the first down, breaks a tackle, and gets almost to the 40-yard line. So nice job by Adam Thielen on his first reception of the preseason.
8th play of a possession that's gone 35 yards. First down Vikings from the Seattle 43, no score. Offset eye left behind Kirk Cousins, C.J. Ham in front of Latavius Murray, Thielen in motion. Cousins to Murray, he has room up the middle, runs by a Seahawk at the 43, and he's stood up by Bobby Wagner and a host of Seahawks at the 40. Speaking of Bobby Wagner, 54 for Seattle, absolutely one of the best 4-3 linebackers in the NFL.
No, absolutely right, Paul. And this is a big man now. Latavius Murray at about 6'3", probably 220, with a head of steam. But Bobby Wagner has that low center of gravity, gets his pads up underneath Latavius and stops him for what should have been more than a 3-yard gain.
About 10 minutes to go in the first quarter, no score. First offensive possession of the game. Cousins under center. Rudolph in motion to the left, now back to the right. Kirk back to pass. Whips it out right to Kyle Rudolph. Caught at the 38, and he's tripped up and stopped right there by Tedrick Thompson, a second-year free safety from Colorado, gain of 3.
Again, Paul, Seattle being very aggressive with blitzing all across the board, and Kirk sees it, gets it outside, and gets it to Kyle Rudolph. And for Kyle Rudolph, one of the things we'd love to see him improve on is his run after the catch. I mean, after you get that ball and turn up, you've got to be light on your feet and not let that first defender just ankle tackle you.
Minnesota 1 of 2 on third down. Cousins shotgun yet again. 2 receivers left and right. Latavius Murray, the tailback. Thielen in motion. Cornelius Edison snaps it to Cousins, whips it over the middle, caught Thielen, first down. Caught at the 32-yard line, hit by Thompson, who hurt himself and checks out of the game. Gain of 6.
Well, that's a great job by Kirk Cousins, Paul, to hang in the pocket, read it, and deliver a strike when just before he's about to get hit. So too much pressure up inside on that interior of the Vikings offensive line. And it was Tom Compton who gave up that pressure. So Kirk hanging in there tough, delivering the football when it needs to go.
Cousins 4 of 6, 37 yards, 11th play of a possession that starts the third preseason game. Cousins under center, 1st and 10 from Seattle's 31. 2 tight ends, both to the left. Cousins loops it to the right side, incomplete. Look for Diggs on a quick slant, and Stephon was met immediately by Shaquille Griffin in his second year from Central Florida. He's number 26. His twin, Shaquem Griffin, also is on the Seattle Seahawks. They were twins born July 20th of 1995. Shaquille popped a minute ahead of his brother Shaquem. Diggs heads out wide left. Thielen wide to the right, 2nd and 10. Latavius Murray still the tailback. Dalvin Cook got the start, got a couple of carries for no yards. Kirk Cousins analyzes Pete Carroll's defense, and on 2nd down goes to Latavius. Look to the right, didn't like it, spun up the middle, hit and stopped at the 28, maybe the 29, gain of 2. So this will be 3rd and long.
Well, Paul, you look at what the offense has done on the ground this game as compared to a week ago. One thing for sure is that in the running game, the offensive line is doing a better job of controlling the line of scrimmage, giving Latavius Murray at least 2-3 yards before he gets touched. Now, passing game-wise, they're going to have to solve this riddle of what Seattle's really thrown at them. Sometimes it's a 3-4 front. Like in this case right now, you got 2-3 techniques. So a lot of stunts up front for this Viking offensive line.
14th play of a drive that's gone 49 yards. Flags all over the place. That's our first flag, and we are halfway through the first quarter. A little different than Saturday against the Jags, right?
Oh, no question. But don't underestimate what a veteran quarterback can do, and hopefully none of the Vikings move.
Encroachment.
There we go.
Defense number 55.
Okay.
5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
That's Brad Allen, makes it 3rd and 3. So the Vikings once again have their 14th play coming up. 8 passes for 39 yards, 5 runs for 11 yards. First penalty of the game. Once again, that was Brad Allen, the referee, and his staff this evening. There you see Rashad Hill didn't play in the Jags game. He's starting at right tackle. Mike Remmer starting at right guard. Cornelius Edison the center. Rosemont, Minnesota native. Tom Compton the left guard. And Riley Reep the left tackle. Vikings 3 of 3 on 3rd down. Empty backfield. Kirk Cousins 3rd and 3. Short drop. Pats it. Fades to Diggs inside the 5. Great coverage by Griffin. Great coverage by the second-year guy, Shaquille Griffin from Central Florida. No pass interference, was able to knock the ball away, and now Daniel Carlson is in to kick.
Well, of the many rule changes, one of them is face guarding is no longer illegal as long as you don't touch the receiver. And when Stephon Diggs hit the ground, he looked at Kirk and said, hey man, throw that thing up in the air. Give me a 50-50 ball, at least give me a shot to go up and get it. So A little bit of a style change.
Our full-time kicker is rookie Daniel Carlson. 42-yard try, right hash, snap spot, and he missed it to the left. Daniel Carlson missed it to the left, and we have no score. Seattle ball, and that includes Russell Wilson. When we return to Minneapolis, it's Vikings football. Hey, it's Vikings football, courtesy of the Vikings Entertainment Network. Time for the Miller Lite social media segment. Interact with us using the hashtag VikingsTalk tonight. Which Vikings player will lead the team in touchdowns this season? Might be Dalvin Cook, might be Stephon Diggs, might be Adam Thielen. We'll get to that. We'll get Pete Bursage's opinions on that momentarily, because Russell Wilson, in his 7th year from Wisconsin, a 3rd-round pick in 2012, he's in the game. 65 regular season wins. That's the most in the first 6 years of the NFL for a quarterback. Handoff goes to the tailback, and running up the middle is Chris Carson, 2nd-year Oklahoma State. Let's take a peek at Daniel Carlson missing left. Ben Lieber, they cut Kai Forbath. They went with Carlson. He missed his first kick as the full-time kicker for the Vikings.
Well, you have to wonder now, did he just kind of take a deep breath, right? I mean, some guys just perform better when they're under pressure, and now that's the first thing I think of when, all right, they kick Kai off the team, and all of a sudden now it's his job. Did he relax? And that's something we have to watch out for. You don't want a kicker relaxing right now, especially just in the preseason.
Carlson, the rookie from Auburn, is 2 of 3 on field goals this preseason, 4 of 4 on extra points. Carson just ran for 4 yards for Seattle, operating without first-round rookie Rashad Penny. They took him in the first round of the 2018 draft from San Diego State. He's been hurt. McKissick, another running back they use, he's also out. Russell Wilson, 3rd and 2 from his own 40, no score. Tailback flanks out to the right, empty backfield. Russell Wilson facing a 4-man rush. He's flustered. He runs out to the right. Brian Robinson is in pursuit, and Wilson throws it away. It's a 3-and-out, Peter, for the Minnesota Vikings defense.
And a great job down the field. I mean, the pass rush was there, and Brian Robinson was out late, but Eric Kendricks and Harrison Smith did a great job of jamming up the receivers. Once the quarterback leaves the pocket, you are allowed to contact the receivers, and they created really a pile of Seattle wide receivers, and that's what Russell Wilson was looking for. Nothing there, forced to throw it away. So a great job by the Viking defense on that first drive.
This punter for Seattle, Michael Dixon, 5th-round pick. He got John Ryan, the veteran, cut this week. Ryan subsequently signed with Buffalo. Let's see how the rookie booms it. Nice high kick. Marcus Sherrills analyzes the coverage, lets it bounce inside the 10. Great Seattle bounce. Inside the 5, rolls out of bounds at the 3-yard line. Dixon, well done. No score from Minneapolis. 5:59 to go in the first quarter. Cousins take 2 on the Vikings Entertainment Network. Vikings football, courtesy of the Vikings Entertainment Network. Here is the Hy-Vee rookie profile. He's Mike Hughes. He's not playing this evening. Didn't practice this week, from what we understand, completely precautionary. Mike Hughes, 2018 first-round pick, 30th overall from Central Florida. Part of an undefeated team at UCF, finishing with the 6th ranking in the final Associated Press poll. No score from Minneapolis. Vikings went down the field, and Daniel Carlson missed a 42-yard field goal. Wilson's offense went 3-and-out. 1st and 10 for Minnesota from its own 3. Handoff goes to Latavius Murray, and he grinds up the middle for a gain of 2 yards. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Now, Paul, you mentioned Mike Hughes, and he's the 2nd first-round pick that the Vikings have selected out of UCF. First one being Dante Culpepper, and he turned out pretty well. He's had a great preseason. I'm glad to see that they're keeping him out, keeping him aside. I hope he's ready, though, for Thursday and gets a lot of work, as he has to get himself ready for the regular season, because I think he's going to see a lot of action.
Reef, Compton, Edison, now Danny Isadora, the right guard, and Avion Collins, the right tackle. On 2nd down, Cousins play action, pats it, swings left, caught C.J. Ham, turns it up at the 10, and C.J. Ham, the Duluth native, runs out of bounds after achieving a Minnesota Vikings first down. So Dalvin Cook started the game, and he played 3 plays, got a couple of carries, both for 0 yards. Ben Lieber, if that's it for Dalvin Cook, are you okay with that?
No, I'm not. You know, I think that he needs to come out here and get more carries. You know, what did you learn from 2 carries? I don't think anything You can tell from those 2 carries. I'd like to see him make a full speed cut. I'd like to check his vision on some of these backside run plays and get some of those cuts that we're so familiar with. I want to see a few of those before you pull him out of the game.
Cousins play action, passes left off the hands of Latavius Murray, left flat. Stephon Diggs was streaking down the field in single coverage. Cousins facing some pressure, opted to go to the left flat. Incomplete, 2nd and 10.
I think he's a little upset as he had Adam Thielen on a curl route. It was just a flat with a curl underneath it, and he had Adam Thielen open, but wasn't able to get him the football. So a lot of pressure on Kirk Cousins. We haven't seen any sacks or anything to bring him to the ground, but a lot of Seattle Seahawks defensive linemen in his face early on.
Kyle Rudolph in motion, tailback Latavius Murray, Cousins under center. Kirk hands to Latavius. He stutter steps following the blocking of Tom Compton, and he falls ahead for a gain of 3 yards. So that'll make it 3rd and 7. After one elongated offensive series, now 76, Avion Collins in at right tackle. 63 is Danny Isadora, the 2nd-year Cane. Hill and Remmers started the game. I'm not going to predict whether there's a rotation or not, but the fact they came in that early, do you think they're fighting for starting jobs into the Niners game?
I don't know if they're fighting for starting jobs, Paul, but they're definitely fighting for the backups and for a position on this roster. I think the 2 starters for the season started this game.
3rd and 7, Minnesota 3 of 4 on 3rd down. Cousins shotgun, 3 receivers right. Seattle rushes 4. Kirk dumps over the middle, caught Latavius on the run, turns it up 25-30, 35-40. In front of his head coach, he's making him proud. Bobby Wagner ran him down at the 42. It is 24 for 25 and a 1st down for the home team.
Well, this is just some man-to-man coverage underneath, and Latavius Murray on the linebacker. Wagner just outruns him across the field. So great throw by Cousins, hits him in stride. Now, Paul, I'll say this: when you talk about Cook and how much he's going to play, Latavius Murray looks really, really good. And if in the season they split more snaps with him, just to get Cook up to speed, I'm fine with that. I think Latavius Murray looks great.
Cousins shotgun. Murray drags a Seahawk, shakes a tackle, and dives ahead to the 46-yard line. 5-yard gain for Latavius Murray.
Now Latavius Murray, after a couple big plays, checks out, and we got a Mike Boone sighting early in this game. I would love to see the young man get a couple carries here, second medium. This is a perfect running down, so I'd love to see him get an opportunity to carry the football.
Boone, 91 yards and a TD against the Jags. Treadwell wide right, Rudolph in motion, C.J. Ham the single set. Play action, Kirk, deep drop, passes right, caught Ham at the 50, shakes a tackle, heads to the left, 45-40. C.J. Ham making Duluth and South Dakota by way of Augustana very proud. A catch and run of 16 yards, and 51, Barkevius Mingo, he paid for it.
Oh, he did, and Barkevius Mingo comes in and tries to give him a shoulder and stops his feet, and C.J. Ham, who's just a load at low center of gravity, nice spin move back inside to extend the play. So C.J. Ham doing a great job coming out of the backfield. He's just an outlet on that play, Paul. They don't expect it to get 3 or 4 yards out of it, but you break a tackle, you move the chains.
8th play of a drive that's gone 60 yards. Cousins shotgun. 7-step drop. Fires right for Diggs. Caught at the 10. Stephon Diggs. In the business, they call it back shoulder. 1st down.
Paul, you are exactly right, and this is what I like to see. Earlier on, Stephon Diggs and Kirk Cousins, they kind of went back and forth. Give me that, throw the ball up in the air. This time, he just throws it back shoulder. And how many receivers in this league, other than Stephon Diggs, can do that? To see that ball coming behind the shoulder of the defensive back, and I have to laugh because as a DB, that's almost impossible to defend.
27-yard connection. Cousins 116 first quarter yards. No score, 1st and goal. Kendall Wright in motion to the right. Murray hit at the point of attack by Hill and falls ahead for a gain of 1. 2nd and goal from the 9. 56 seconds to go in the first quarter and 35 on the play clock.
Well, Paul, with what Seattle's doing with their linebackers and their safeties, they're getting right downhill trying to fill those gaps. They're taking away the cutback lanes. Is what they're doing right now, and that's what's kind of given this inside the tackle run some issues, or let's make it even a little bit more less efficient. But the play action passes are there, and some of these outside runs I bet will start soon.
Laquan Treadwell left, Diggs slot right, Cousins middle, caught Murray, stopped at the 6, falls ahead to the 5. A catch and fall of 4 yards, and that should be the final play of the first quarter. Kirk Cousins will end the first quarter 10 of 15 for 120 yards. We have no score. They'll flip the field, and the Vikings will have it 3rd and goal from the 5 when we return to beautiful U.S. Bank Stadium. It's the 3rd preseason game. It's Vikings football. Vikings football courtesy of the Vikings Entertainment Network. Our quarterback Kirk Cousins is mic'd up.
I normally always nap on a night game, and I didn't get my nap in today. We'll see what happens. I don't expect to fall asleep at the wheel. I loved it.
Yeah, it's good.
Good atmosphere. I like St. Paul.
Cousins had 120 first quarter yards, 3rd and goal from the 5. This possession began at the Vikings 3-yard line. Minnesota 4 of 5 on 3rd down. Cousins goes out of the shotgun. 2 receivers left, make it 3. And Cousins back to pass. Pops, oh, he's hit. He's buried. Holy cow. Kirk Cousins smacked. It was Bobby Wagner. Flag came in. Bobby Wagner with a middle blitz. The great Bobby Wagner hit our quarterback. Flag is in the end zone.
I think you're going to get holding on Stephon Diggs. So I think this is going to be an automatic first down for the Vikings, which is great.
Holding. Defense, number 26.
Yeah.
After this is to the goal. Automatic. First down.
Shaquille Griffin.
So one-on-one on the outside, Stephon Diggs pushing it, trying to get himself to the corner, and Shaquille Griffin just getting a little bit too much of his shoulder pad.
Hey,
directed him off.
That's the A topic, but I'd sure like to know what happened in the middle there. Holy cow.
Well, Kirk Cousins, he pump faked it. He should just get rid of it to save himself a hit. When you're here in the red zone, throw it out of the back of the end zone. You never get an intentional grounding call. I think if he had that to do again, he would have just thrown it away.
Let's get that ball in the end zone. 0-0 early in the second quarter. Diggs in motion to the left. Murray is the tailback. Cousins under center. He rolls out to the right. Pumps, and make that, fires to the front right of the end zone. Incomplete. In hot pursuit was Frank Clark, 4th year from Michigan. 2nd round pick in 2015. South. 2nd and goal from the 2.
Well, Paul, you look at the play selection of DeFilippo already. Early in this second quarter, we're seeing a lot more of Kirk Cousins out on the edges. They're okay with letting him run these naked bootlegs without any protection. He's quick. He can get out to the flat. So they love his athleticism. It looks to me like they're going to try to get him outside the tackle box quite often.
12th play of a possession that began at the -3. Handoff Murray up the middle, encountered by Seahawks. Grinds out to the right to the goal stripe. Latavius Murray just shy. Latavius Murray with a gain of 1, just short. As the Vikings continue to play a game of keep away. They've had the ball for about 90% of the game. Russell Wilson in Seattle had it for 3 plays, then punted. 13th play coming up of a drive that has included 5 completions for 81 yards, 4 runs for 13 yards. Latavius Murray has amassed 40 yards on the possession. So it's 3rd and goal from the Seattle 1 in a scoreless game.
Got a timeout by Seattle. Pete Carroll running down, taking the timeout.
Charge timeout. Seattle, they're first.
Now, Seattle, in fairness, is operating this game. Sans Byron Maxwell, its best corner. Sans Bradley McDougald, its best safety. The great Earl Thomas is holding out, looking for a new deal. And there have been some wholesale changes up front, too. Michael Bennett's now a member of the Philadelphia Eagles. A couple of Vikings play a fair amount. Shamar Stephen, former Vikings, that is. Shamar Stephen and Tom Johnson. So this is very much a work in progress for not only the Seahawks overall, but a defense that traditionally is one of the best in the NFL.
It really is, Paul, and I'm surprised by the amount of blitzing and downhill they're doing with the linebackers, blitzing off the edges, blitzing up the middle. Wagner has been on our side of the line of scrimmage many times already, so they're taking a very aggressive stance against our Viking offense.
Cousins, Murray the tailback. Diggs right, Thielen in motion. Murray up the middle, into the end zone, touchdown, Latavius Murray, and Minnesota leads 6-0.
And Paul, that was a full-size, that was a blitz, a big blitz by Seattle from that bunch formation. And credit Latavius Murray with taking that handoff and seeing daylight and jumping outside. So Latavius Murray, I like the way he's looked all preseason. I think he's picked up way ahead of where he left off, and it looks like the Vikings here are going to go for 2, which is an interesting choice considering you have a rookie kicker.
Why not? It's preseason.
Who just missed a field goal, and yeah, this is something they probably practice and want to get a good look at it.
Couple of receivers left. Laquan Treadwell wide right. Treadwell had a 2-point conversion last year in the preseason. Cousins shotgun, Murray to his left. 6-0 Minnesota. Snap, pass, 2-point conversion, no good. 13 plays, 97 yards, took 7 minutes, 17 seconds, capped by a Latavius Murray touchdown on the Vikings Entertainment Network. U.S. Bank Stadium on the Vikings Entertainment Network. That is the Northland Ford Dealer scoreboard. 6-0 Minnesota. Home team went for a 2-point conversion, did not get it. Courtesy of the Minnesota Lottery. 13 plays, 97 yards, 7 minutes, 17 seconds. About the only blemish on the game to this point, given the Vikings defense played for all of like 45 seconds and forced Seattle to go 3 and out, is that guy, rookie kicker Daniel Carlson. He won the outright kicking job from Kai Forbath, who was cut earlier this week. And Carlson missed a 42-yard field goal back in the first quarter, and he missed it badly left.
And Paul, you look at this like a regular season game. It's been all Vikings the whole first and into the second quarter, but you only hold a 6-point lead. So you'd like to see more points on the board than what we had.
Here comes Cyril Grayson to the far side. Gets past the 20, and he's taken down at the 25-yard line. Ben Lieber, what do you think of this? Vikings, Seattle. Minnesota 144 yards, Seattle 8. Vikings 10 first down, Seattle 0. Vikings 120 passing yards, Seattle 0.
That's exactly how we drew it up, right? I think the defense is going to go 3 plays each quarter. They're going to settle for a career low of 12 defensive plays throughout the whole game.
Former Seahawk Sheldon Richardson in the game to the left of the right of Linval Joseph. Spent last year with the Seattle Seahawks. Tailback is Mike Davis, quarterback Russell Wilson. Russell, play action, fires out right to veteran Brandon Marshall, and the lanky Marshall reaches ahead to the 31-yard line. Sheldon Richardson, former Defensive Rookie of the Year, back in the day with the New York Jets, traded about this time last year to the Seattle Seahawks, wears 93 for the Minnesota Vikings. He is a defensive tackle. In the business, they call him a 3 technique. He's to the right of Linval Joseph, and he's also our U.S. Bank player spotlight. 2nd and 5 from the 30. Wilson faces a rush, passes, caught at the 35, and the Seattle Seahawks have managed a first down. The Seahawks are operating this evening without their best receiver, Doug Baldwin, who will not play all preseason. This is Keenan Reynolds, 3rd year from Navy.
Paul, if there's one thing that Russell does so well, we talked about in the pregame, is just hitting receivers in stride. They come out with empty, no back in the backfield. He sees the linebacker cover, so he knows he's getting man-to-man, and he just finds that open receiver across the middle. So Russell is just a good quarterback.
First down, handoff Davis. And Ben Gideon, 2nd year from Michigan, wraps him up around the ankles after a gain of 5. We mentioned Russell Wilson. He has a career passer rating of 98.8. That's in regular and postseason play. That includes a Super Bowl victory. That's 2nd best in NFL history. How about this on the road? His passer rating is 95.5. That's 4th best in NFL history. Peter, simply put, he's one of the most lethal threats at the quarterback position in the game.
He really is, and he's so smart. You'd think, look at him and his height, that he wouldn't be able to see over the offensive line, but man, he knows everything that's going on downfield.
Empty backfield, Minnesota rushes 4. Wilson goes deep right side to the running back, incomplete. Eric Hendricks covering Mike Davis with a plum. knocks it away at the 30, and now it's third down.
Eric Kendricks, Paul, made a huge play last week in a zone matchup. In this case, he's one-on-one again. Seattle putting the running back, flexing him out wide on the outside to get that one-on-one, and they want to test Eric Kendricks. Well, Eric Kendricks, there's a reason the Vikings paid him all that money. That's because that man can play the run and the pass.
Seattle 0 of 1 on third down. Vikings lead 6-0, 3rd and 5 from the Seattle 42. Chris Carson in a tailback, 3-receiver set, make it 4. Tight end Bennett stands up to the right. Wilson sees nothing with a laser shot over the middle, fires, and the Seattle Seahawks have entered Vikings territory. That's a reception by Keenan Reynolds. He's in his 3rd year from Navy. I don't know about you, Peter, but when you think of players from Navy, I don't think receiver.
No, you don't. You don't think speed much, and especially that when you're running the wishbone and running the option all the time. But
yeah.
Eric Wilson getting a chance to play some nickel, some third down early in this game, missed a tackle, and really allowed the Seahawks to get that first down.
And in fairness to Reynolds, he was a former quarterback for the midshipmen. Wilson, left, caught. First down for Seattle at the 37-yard line. That's Brandon Marshall. And he caught it on Xavier Rhodes.
Well, Brandon Marshall one-on-one with Xavier Rhodes, and when you give a receiver that much time and that much space, it's almost impossible to cover him. So Xavier Rhodes doing a really nice job. Some pressure on Russell Wilson, but he's able to just keep fading back, buying himself more time, and with that strong arm, able to get a ball, on the outside on time and on target.
Gain of 9, 2nd and short, 6-0 Vikings, 10:26 to go in the first half. Handoff Carson. He will scamper for the first down. Gideon and Kendricks, a couple of linebackers bring him down. Gain of 4. The right defensive end this game has been Danielle Hunter. We know him, Ben Lieber, as a left defensive end, but you've been impressed with him playing on the right side, haven't you?
Oh my gosh, so impressed. I mean, last game there was a drive where you could have 5 plays that were clinic tapes, not only in a rush, but also playing against the run on an outside stretch play where he took on 2 blockers and made the tackle for a no gain. He even carried a receiver up the seam in a zone blitz, and then he had the one-handed sack at the end of that drive. Just unbelievable and so natural at the right defensive end.
On first down, play action, Wilson rolls out to the left, fires incomplete. Back to Danielle Hunter for a second. 7 sacks last year. You know, I don't think the coaches and or personnel people are going to get publicly loud about it, but I do think they expect markedly more this year.
I think they do. They expect the quarterback to get sacked, and when Everson Griffin is getting more than 1 per game, it doesn't leave a lot left for the other guys. So. But Danielle Hunter, what he's like, and I think right now why he's like in life, is he gets to rush from the blind side of the quarterback until Everson Griffin returns. So he's getting an opportunity to show what he can do at right defensive end, and he looks really good.
Davis back into tailback. Wilson out of the shotgun. Handoff Davis. Some room up the middle. Shakes the tackle. Gets to the 25. Between the hash marks, he's taken down at the 23-yard line. That's another Seattle Seahawks first down. That is a 12-yard run for Mike Davis. 4th year, South Carolina.
Now, that's, Paul, that's just a simple trap up the middle. Sheldon Richardson has to come down and try to spill that with the guard pull. So Sheldon Richardson inside, they're taking advantage of him getting so far upfield. They know him very well. They ran that trap right at him, and it sprung for a first down.
10th play of a drive for Seattle. Trailing 6-0. Handoff Davis. Hey, Danielle Hunter. Mike Davis meet Danielle Hunter. Came slashing through. That's a tackle for loss of 3, Danielle Hunter.
Well, Danielle Hunter, Paul, he has enough size and enough quickness and plays with such a low body. Then he has that lateral movement. The offensive tackle just assumes that he's going to be outside. Danielle Hunter does a stunt underneath, and then he's able to ricochet. Has the quickness and length to ricochet and come back and make the tackle. So tackle for a loss, especially as the Seahawks get near the red zone. That's a huge play.
Brandon Marshall, 13th year, Central Florida. He's wide left. And opposite the great Xavier Rhodes, 2nd and 13 from the Vikings 26. Wilson shotgun. Minnesota rushes 4. Wilson fades to the lanky Marshall. Caught, 1st and goal. Wilson, Marshall caught on Rhodes. Hitman late on the scene.
Well, I am very, very impressed with Russell Wilson and what he's able to do, Paul, because that's very, very tight coverage that Xavier Rhodes has. And Marshall just gets enough strength, enough space in between, maybe a little bit of a push off, to catch that ball over his shoulder, but Russell Wilson delivering with such accuracy. And again, that's one of the things that impresses me about him especially, is just the accuracy with which he can throw.
2 receivers left, and the tailback is Chris Carson. First and goal, Carson stutter steps at the 5 and walks into the end zone basically untouched. Game is tied.
Well, they're going to come back and take to the sidelines. That's the interior defensive line, Paul, and that's something you shouldn't see. Sheldon Richardson again. That's a trap. The same play that they ran a few plays earlier to get that first down, and this is one you got to huddle and get to the sideline and figure out exactly what's going on. The linebackers have to see the guard pull. Sheldon Richardson has to do a better job of creating a pile in the middle.
Here's Sebastian Janikowski, 19th year from Florida State, spent 18 with Oakland, and he's all of 261 pounds. It's all in his left foot. Snap spot. Seattle leads. Midway through the second quarter, Seattle leads Minnesota 7-6. Welcome to Minnesota Vikings football, courtesy of the Vikings Entertainment Network. 7-6 Seattle. Trivia time presented by Mills Fleet Farm. How many Vikings were named to the Pro Bowl last season? Cal Rudolph was. Go ahead and guess away. How many Vikings made the Pro Bowl last season? Jeff Badette deep for the Vikings. Mike Hughes not playing this evening. There's the answer from Barr to Adam Thielen. Jeff Badette, undrafted from Oklahoma, set to catch the Sebastian Janikowski kick. How about this? Through 2 possessions, the Vikings have run 28 plays for 151 yards and held the ball 14 minutes 51 seconds of the 22-24 played in the game, and they're losing 7-6. Break time midway through the second quarter. Vikings ball. When we return, it's Vikings football. And the Vikings Entertainment Network. It is a beautiful Friday evening at US Bank Stadium. And here are the game stats provided by Sleep Number. You can see with those stats, complete statistical domination by the Minnesota Vikings, specifically with the time of possession. But they're losing 7-6.
Right, Paul, and if this is a regular season game, you have to look back into the opportunities that they had missed, and the biggest one being the Daniel Carlson missed field goal from 42 yards out, excuse me. So you can't miss those opportunities to put points on the board.
Dalvin Cook started, played 3 plays, got a couple of hits, -1 yards on the rush, and Cousins goes back to pass. Facing a lot of pressure, and he'll throw it away up the middle. Barkevius Mingo all over Kirk Cousins. A little slow to get up. You probably will hear about that later, given Kirk Cousins is wearing a microphone provided by the Vikings Entertainment Network tonight. Second down.
And some of the pain that he suffered tonight has been self-induced, Paul. He's, you know, he has to make some quicker decisions, especially earlier in the red zone when he got hit. And on that last play, he tried to look off and then dump a short draw play or screen play. He's got to make that a little bit quicker.
Treadwell motion, 2nd and 10 from the 25. Hand off Latavius, who has the touchdown tonight. Leaps at the 25 and falls ahead to the 26. It's a 1-yard gain for Latavius Murray.
Well, momentum is definitely fading, Paul, and I think that has a lot to do with just being inefficient on first down. Early on, when Latavius Murray and Dalvin Cook were in there, we're getting 2, 3, 4 yards on each handoff, and those gains have diminished. Incomplete passes on first down, those kinds of things leave you in this position 3rd and long.
Danny Isadora and Avion Collins, both in their second years. They man the right side of the offensive line after Mike Remmers and Rashad Hill started. Vikings 5 of 6 on 3rd down. Cousins looks right, passes right, incomplete. It was 3rd and 9. He looked for Murray a yard shy of the line of scrimmage. So 10 shy of the first down. Conspicuous. Quigley.
Well, very conspicuous, as he didn't have many receivers who, even if they caught the ball, would have gained the first down. You had Stephon Diggs running a curl on the outside or a hitch, and he wasn't even past the first down chain. So some kind of miscommunication, I think, there, Paul. You want to get receivers past the sticks if you want to get a first down.
Cyril Grayson is the punt returner. Quigley's punt is short, but it's high. Grayson with plenty of room in front of him. heads to the 40, 45, and is run down from behind at the 48-yard line. Ben Gideon and J-Ron Curse on the tackle. 7-6 Seattle. It's Vikings football. Vikings football this Friday night on the Vikings Entertainment Network. The new Vikings Museum is a place for fans to experience the comprehensive history of the franchise. Through multiple interactive exhibits and hundreds of Vikings historical artifacts, the museum is something for every Vikings fan. Learn more or purchase tickets at vikings.com/museum.
Paul, my favorite thing in the exhibit is the old meat wagon that they had back at Met Stadium. It's the cart with the big Viking helmet on that would go out and pick people up. It was sitting in mothballs, all dusty and rusty, and they fixed that thing up. It's awesome.
Chris Carson, the tailback for Seattle, leading 7-6. Reynolds in motion. Handoff Carson. A little bit of room up the middle. Angles to the left into Vikings territory. And after all that, a 6-yard run. Seattle running well against the Vikings this evening. Seattle with 37 rushing yards of its 90 in the game.
Paul, and they're doing it with a little bit of misdirection. They're getting the linebackers to slow down and not letting the defense attack. Daniil Hunter on that last play, Paul, he had himself set right in the hole, but missed the tackle. You got to keep your feet moving. You got to take those angles. And they've, with this motion and with some of the fake handoffs and things, their defense is just on their heels a little bit.
Robinson, Richardson, Joseph, and Hunter up front. Russell Wilson on a 5-step drop. Swings right Carson at the 50. Eric Kendrick sniffs it out but blows the tackle. And Carson runs for a Seattle first down. Holy cow.
Now, rare missed tackle in the flat by Eric Kendricks, Paul. Man-to-man coverage. He's there in time to make the tackle for really no loss, but the stutter step got him and just let him slip out of his fingers. So Eric Kendricks wishes he had that one back. A couple good plays. He had a wonderful coverage down the field earlier. Better job. You need some open field tackling, Paul. You don't do a whole lot of that in the camp in the preseason.
It's 1st and 10 from the Vikings 33. Seattle 7-6 with 5:18 to go in the first half. Seattle gets the ball to begin the second half. 3 receivers left out of the shotgun. It's a handoff to Davis, who goes left and he weaves right and weaves his way to the 25-yard line. It'll be a run of 7, maybe 8 yards by Mike Davis. Another chunk yardage situation via the run for Seattle.
Now Seattle's getting the Vikings in slot, and they're trying to get some of the corners on the outside to step up and have to make plays. So on that last one, Trey Wayne's forced to take on a pulling offensive lineman. He creates a dog pile like he's supposed to, and just not enough pursuit there to get him down without losing a couple of yards.
And that pulling offensive lineman, right guard DJ Fluker, formerly of San Diego and the Giants. Handoff Davis. He'll scamper up the middle for a Seattle first down, getting to the 21-yard line with 4:25 and counting to go in the first half. It's a run of 4 for a Seattle first down. Daniel Carlson, our new kicker, the rookie from Auburn, missed a 42-yard field goal, and he missed it badly to the left. The Vikings went 13 plays, 97 yards on their next possession. Latavius Murray plunged in from a yard out. Seattle responded by going 12 plays, 75 yards. Chris Carson with a 5-yard touchdown run. Seattle has 49 rushing yards and 115 yards total in the game. First down, Wilson, shotgun, Davis to his right. Big blitz, screen left to Davis. Anthony Barr says niet. Loss of 3.
Well, you look at the height, the weight, and the speed of Anthony Barr. He is more than running backs can handle. We saw Eric Kendricks miss a tackle on the flat. Not Anthony Barr. He comes out there, his arms are so long, and he's so tall, he's able to wrap up running backs so efficiently in the flat. And Mike Davis coming out with a limp. I think Barr fell on the back of his ankle. And they're going to take a look at Mike Davis on the sideline.
Tashawn Bauer in at left defensive end. David Perry in next to Jaleel Johnson in the middle. Daniil Hunter, the right defensive end. Second down, 2nd and 13. Wilson, short drop, pats it, looks left, swings it, incomplete. Barr on the coverage. Intended receiver, running back Chris Carson. 3rd down.
Now Anthony Barr again just doing what he does, and that's getting out in the flat. And you gotta credit Daniil Hunter, Paul. He gets on the outside and gets in Russell Wilson's face. So Russell Wilson's forced to throw it, and Anthony Barr closing with that closing speed, able to really break that play up. So the Viking defense has come alive Seattle's had a lot of luck running between the tackles, but when it's 3rd and about 13, they could try running that trap again and try to kick a field goal, but not a lot of options at this down and distance.
Rookie Craig James in as the Vikings play nickel, and he's the inside corner. 3rd down. Swing to Keenan Reynolds, flag on the play. And the former midshipman crosses the 20 down to the 17-yard line. Catch and run of 7 yards.
You're going to get a hold on Jerron Brown, the wide receiver from Seattle. He gets a handful of jersey of Craig James, and I think that's what's going to set them back. So they're discussing it.
Brown, the former member of the Arizona Cardinals, in his 6th year from Clemson. Brad Allen, the referee, surveying the situation with Vikings head coach Mike Zimmer, heading into his 5th season as coach of the Vikings. Here's Mr. Allen with the answer.
Pass interference, offense number 18.
Nice job,
the penalty
guys.
is declined. 4th down.
So it'll be 4th down and Seabass time. Sebastian Janikowski.
Now Sebastian Janikowski getting a chance. Now they call it pass interference. It was a little bit of a hold, but I'll tell you what, you look at Trey Waynes, Paul, I think he's one of the more underappreciated defensive backs on this team. Trey Waynes has been put in positions where he's had to take on pulling linemen. On that last play, staying outside and forcing the screen or the quick whip screen back inside to his pursuit. Did a great job there, and I think Trey Waynes is playing at a very, very high level as well. So we have almost an embarrassment of riches in the defensive backfield right now where it stands.
Janikowski, the 3rd longest tenured player in the NFL at 19 years. 2nd, Arizona kicker Phil Dawson, 20 years. 1st, Indianapolis's Adam Vinatieri, into his 23rd year. This will be a 35-yard try, right hash, with 2:39 to go in the first half. Seattle gets the ball to begin the second half. Pete Carroll, formerly a member of the Minnesota Vikings coaching staff, still leads the Seattle Seahawks, Super Bowl champions from a few years ago. Snap spot. Janikowski. 10-6 Seattle. 2:39 to go in the first half on the Vikings Entertainment Network. It's Minnesota Vikings football on the Vikings Entertainment Network. On the Northland Ford dealer scoreboard, Seattle by 4 deep in the first half. Here is the TCO health report. Bad week last week for the Vikings. Outside of Josiah Price, injured in the joint practice, Ade Aruna, Cedric Lang, Johnny Stanton, all injured and lost for the season or waived via injury because of that super rough and tumble physical Jags game. 2:39 to go in the first half. Seattle just went 8 plays, 36 yards, took 3 minutes 54 seconds. Sebastian Janikowski with a 35-yard field goal, and the aforementioned former Florida State product will kick it away. It's a very high kick, very returnable. And it's the speedy Jeff Pedette, far side, heads to the left to the 10 to the 15, and he's taken down very hard at the 16-yard line. That's Barkevious Mingo, 51, with another big play. Barkevious Mingo, former member of the Patriots.
Well, you can tell it's the preseason, and that's what happens is these starters are out there covering punts. They're doing everything. They're running up and down the field. Now he's got to go in on defense, I'm sure. So big hit, though. But that's got to learn to watch out for himself, man. You look with Mike Hughes being out and who's the next in line to return kicks. There's an opportunity there for you to show your stuff. But, man, you've got to keep your head on a swivel.
Cousins, 10 of 18, 120 yards deep in the first half. 3 receivers left, trailing 10-6. Kirk passes left, caught Treadwell at the 22, runs out of bounds. 2:31 to go in the first half. And the Vikings have all 3 of their timeouts remaining. Gain of 5 for Laquan Treadwell. Riley Reith, the starting left tackle, still in. Likewise for Tom Compton. Cornelius Edison still the center. Danny Isadora supplanted Mike Remmers after the first drive. Likewise for Avion Collins for Rashad Hill. Cousins with Latavius Murray to his left. On second down, dump to Murray. Caught just outside the numbers. And he's thrown down at the 26 after a gain of 4. That's the 2-minute warning. Seattle leads 10-6 from US Bank Stadium on the Vikings Entertainment Network. Welcome back to Minneapolis. It's Vikings football on the Vikings Entertainment Network. Our Miller Lite social media segment at hashtag Vikings Talk had a question: which Vikings player will lead the team in touchdowns this season? Here is at Lucky Charm Guy. He says Adam Thielen. Could be Thielen, could be Diggs. Probably one of those two, right?
I would think so. I think
maybe Murray.
Latavius Murray gets those red zone carries. I was just going to say Dalvin Cook would be a cinch had it not been for Latavius Murray taking those plays away from him.
It's 3rd and 2 for the Vikings, trailing by 4 from their own 25. Cousins shotgun. Deep drop. Pass. Caught. First down. Diggs paid for it. Slow to get up. Diggs smacked after a gain of 6 yards.
That's the biggest hit that I've seen across the middle that has not drawn a flag. So the linebacker sitting underneath, Diggs turning up, and just a shoulder by Wright, right at the head of Stephon Diggs. So
KJ Wright.
We'll see.
Cousins throws it behind Thielen, who cannot bring it in, incomplete. Well, that's too bad that pass was behind Adam. That would have been a first down. Another look at KJ Wright blasting our guy.
Well, that's one of the things they talk about, lowering the head and led with the shoulder. So the referees must have seen that was a legit hit. And Paul, you're right. Adam Thielen wide open in the outside. Well, open in the outside as you get in the NFL, and just an errant throw by Kirk Cousins. I'm impressed with the velocity on his throws, but the accuracy this last couple series just hasn't been there.
Cousins 13 of 21, 134. Shotgun again. Seattle rushes 4. Cousins protected nicely. Pass is caught. Treadwell, first down. At the 42, 122, 121 to go in the first half. Gain of 12. Minnesota with 3 timeouts, opting to not use one here. Cousins gets Kendall Wright, former first-round pick by the Titans from Baylor, left. 3 receivers right, Latavius Murray to the left of Cousins. Kirk passes right, caught Thielen, runs out of bounds at the 46. Quick gain of 3 yards. With a minute 2 to go, clock obviously stops. This is an opportunity for the Vikings to hone that 2-minute drill with the first offense in the 3rd preseason game.
You're absolutely right. Something that they practice all the time. And what changes is the receivers, the routes that they run, and they have to know, unless you're moving the chains, you got to get yourself out of bounds to stop that clock. You know, you have a full 3 timeouts for this drive, so Kirk Cousins can be patient and use those along the way. But this is great practice for the Vikings offense. 2
receivers left, 1 right. Diggs has not returned since that KJ Wright hit. Cousins facing a blitz. He's going to fade it right to Thielen, overshot him. Holy cow, Adam was wide open at the 25. 3rd down.
Well, the protection on this drive has been great. Cousins has had time in the pocket, and on that last play, Seattle blitzes a safety off the edge. And this is just a stop and go, kind of a stutter and go by Thielen, and they were just not on the same page. So Cousins, with that strong arm, just outthrows Adam Thielen. So you would hope that by the regular season they get that communication, that kind of thing worked out.
Cousins, 3rd and 7 from his own 46. Minnesota 6 of 8 on 3rd down. Trailing 10-6, 57 seconds to go in the first half. Seattle rushes 4. Kirk fires, caught first down. Treadwell spins outside the numbers to the 40, 35, 30. Laquan Treadwell walks out of bounds at the 27 and gives the fans at US Bank Stadium reason to cheer.
Oh, everybody's been waiting for this out of Laquan Treadwell. You see him in a 2-minute drill. He's a big-bodied receiver. He's caught 2 passes, Paul, over the middle. Both of them for first downs. The first one just moving the chains, but that's what you like to see. He makes a move. He gets out of bounds. He stops the clock. That's a great play by Laquan Treadwell.
It's first down from the Seattle 27, deep in the first half. Cousins shotgun once again. Diggs back in the game, wide left. Thielen sole alone right. Kirk steps up, weaves his way to the right. Cousins eyes down the field, runs 25. Out of bounds. There's a couple of officials run into each other in clomp-like fashion. It'll be a run of 2 for Kirk Cousins.
I don't think I've ever seen a quarterback slide on his way out of bounds.
Watch this.
He's smart play. He keeps it alive, and then he's able to just jump out of bounds and slide. The referees are getting tangled up. It's the preseason for them too, so they don't know when to get out of the way.
Yeah, they're all wound up. We have 3 timeouts remaining. 2nd and 8 from the Seattle 25. Let's get a touchdown here. Diggs left. Thielen slot left. Treadwell right. 4-man rush. Cousins. Ball hit at the line of scrimmage, incomplete. 3rd down.
I just got done saying how protection has been good, and we've seen when Kirk Cousins is in the pocket and has time to survey the field, those are the plays that Laquan Treadwell has been coming open on. They protected a blitz earlier very well, but one thing for the offensive linemen they have to do is make sure those D linemen cannot get their hands up, and that's a responsibility of the offensive linemen to keep those D linemen hands down.
Brandon Jackson, 3rd-year defensive end from Texas Tech with the deflection. Vikings 7 of 9 on 3rd down, 3rd and 8 from the Seattle 25. Cousins, shotgun, false start, Reed. Make it 3rd and 13. False start, 71.
Well, Paul, those are the kinds of things in these 2-minute drills that you don't want to see happen.
False start. Offense number 79. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
I think that's a mistake. It absolutely was both sides.
Yep.
Both Compton and Reef jumped.
Yep.
So they got a little trigger happy on the left side of the offensive line, and we line up at 3rd and 13. So this is huge for the Minnesota Vikings offense.
11th play of a possession that has gone 53 yards. 3rd and 13 from the Seattle 30. Cousins screen left to Thielen. Blocked up at the 25. Adam bounces off one of his players and falls ahead to the 24. So it'll be a gain of 6. Not good enough for the 1st down, but good enough for a Daniel Carlson 2nd opportunity to make a field goal.
Well, Adam Thielen catches the ball on the flat, and he tries to cut up inside and sees Wagner coming at him. He just turns it outside and gets what he can, and kind of got in our own way on that last drive, Paul. It's a shame because the 2-minute drill, we were moving it down the field. You get close to the red zone and it stalls out. Some mistakes by the offensive line.
42-yard try left hash. Carlson 0 of 1 tonight. He missed from 42. Snap spot. Quickly puts it down, and Carlson missed. And he missed left again. He's 0 of 2. Daniel Carlson. Okay.
Paul, in a team game like this, the kicker's trying to sort some things out. You can't let that affect you defensively or offensively. You have to take the field no matter what happens. Before, the Vikings have had their opportunities, Paul. This game should really be 12, if not 13-10. Vikings taking the lead into halftime. You miss the 2nd kick, it lets the wind out of your sails, or can. That's one thing that you have to protect yourself against, especially going into that 2nd half, is to make sure you can control what you can control. And right now the defense needs to get in there and make sure nothing else happens.
Carlson was the SEC Special Teams Player of the Year in 2016 and 17. Last year, his senior year, 23 of 31 on field goals. The year before that, 28 for 32. He's 0 for 2 tonight. The great Russell Wilson on a deep drop, pats it, swings left, caught Carson, stopped by Kendricks inbounds at the 37-yard line. 10-6 Seattle. Seattle gets the ball to begin the 2nd half. The Seahawks will use their 2nd timeout.
And that's a great play by Eric Kendricks again into the flat and tackling the running back inbounds, forcing Seattle to use another timeout. Now I know this is the preseason, Paul, and it's not that hugely important, but those are the things that translate to the regular season. Those are the plays that keep points off the board and keep your defense at or near the top for scoring. So I think, off defensively, things have been pretty solid. We've been a little leaky in between the tackles, and a lot of that really having to do with Sheldon Richardson and the trap plays on the ground, but they're getting it fixed up.
20 seconds to go in the 1st half. Seattle with 1 timeout remaining. Vikings rush 4. Wilson to the sidelines, incomplete. Jerron Brown, 6'3", 204, 6-year from Clemson. By way of the Arizona Cardinals, the intended receiver. In the 2nd half, I'm hoping we see number 28 play for the Minnesota Vikings, and I'm not talking about Adrian Peterson. It's new safety George Iloka, who the Vikings signed just a couple of days ago after spending 7 years with Cincinnati. Strangely was made available and had some options elsewhere with AFC teams, opted to sign with the Vikings. Hopefully he plays some in the 2nd half. Wilson, 15 seconds to go in the 1st half. Russell Runs away from the pressure, pumps, runs, and walks out of bounds at the 43, run of 5 with 9 seconds to go in the first half.
Interestingly, Linval Joseph still in the game. And normally in a 2-minute drill, when you have a lot of pass rushing opportunities, you would think that they would take him out. But he and Sheldon Richardson, Paul, working on their interior games, working on those stunts. And Sheldon Richardson, on the play before, got in the face of Russell Wilson, but on that last one looked like he was held, or it looked like he was being held as Russell Wilson scrambled for the first down.
Sendejo about 17 yards from the line of scrimmage. He's the deep safety as Harrison Smith cheats up, then he drops back. Wilson passes quickly, and the receiving option walks out of bounds. That is C.J. Prosise, one of 3 running backs used this evening for the Seattle Seahawks. Quick hitting gain of 8. Now we have 5 seconds remaining in the first half. A half where the Minnesota Vikings have 209 yards of offense, 182 passing yards. Got a touchdown from Latavius Murray. Rookie kicker Daniel Carlson, as the Vikings use one of their 3 timeouts.
Charge timeout. Minnesota, their first. It will be 30 seconds.
Zimmer wants a timeout. Daniel Carlson, the rookie from Auburn, with a couple of misses, both left and both from 42 yards. Vikings Rewards is an opportunity to thank fans for their unending loyalty. Get points for watching games and redeem them for Vikings prizes and experiences. Enter the promo code 824-THIELEN. There it is, 824-THIELEN. Get 250 points for the 824-THIELEN. Vikings.com/rewards for more information. 5 seconds to go in the first half. The Vikings with several players 25-30 yards from the line of scrimmage, including Harrison Smith, J-Ron Curse making his preseason debut tonight, and Andrew Sendejo. Russell Wilson, 5'11", 7th year from Wisconsin, passes to the left, batted in the air and knocked down. Ball was hit at the line of scrimmage. And that's the end of the first half. Seattle gets the ball to begin the second half. Touchdowns this evening from Latavius Murray, 1 yard out, and Chris Carson on a 5-yard run for Seattle. Sebastian Janikowski hit a 35-yard field goal. Our guy Daniel Carlson went 0 for 2. Second half action around the corner on the Vikings Entertainment Network.
Is presented by Miller Lite, official beer of the Minnesota Vikings. By U.S. Bank, uniting fans, creating possibilities. That's the power of possible. And by Twin Cities Orthopedics, official sports medicine provider of the Minnesota Vikings.
Welcome back to beautiful U.S. Bank Stadium. This is the Vikings' final home preseason game. Thursday from Nashville against the Tennessee Titans. And Seattle leads Minnesota 10-6. Seattle gets the ball to begin the second half. Greg Coleman has run down Vikings coach Mike Zimmer, and here it is.
Greg Coleman back at U.S. Bank Stadium with head coach Mike Zimmer. Coach, the play of your quarterback, talk about that.
I thought he did some good things. He was accurate on a lot of balls and made a little scramble here and there, but for the most part, he went to the right place. And, I thought he threw the ball well.
Took a number of hits, no sacks, but you got to be pleased with it.
Yeah, offensively, we moved the ball well.
Defense seems like Seattle found a little running room latter part of the second half, but you were able to keep them out of the end zone.
Yeah, they're really grabbing us in the running game, and so we got to get off blocks better.
I got to ask you, Coach, you got to be concerned about the 2 missed kicks by the kickers.
Yes, definitely.
There you have it, guys. Coach, thanks. That's Mike Zimmer. Guys, not very happy about his kicker going 0 for 2. Paul, back up to you and Pete.
Thanks, Greg. Mike Zimmer voicing concern about his kicker, Daniel Carlson, the rookie from Auburn you see there, missing a couple of 42-yarders, both to the left. It's preseason. It's his job. Are you concerned?
I'd like to see him come back at some point in the second half, Paul, and make 1 or 2, just to let us know that he's trending in the right direction. What you don't like to see is his competition getting released and then having him miss 2 identical 42-yard attempts.
Carlson kicking it left to right as we see it at U.S. Bank Stadium. He will be kicking to the east side of this palatial purple paradise. And deep for the Seattle Seahawks is Cyril Grayson, a second-year reserve wide receiver from Louisiana State University. Russell Wilson finished the first half 10 of 16, 84 yards. No sacks. The Vikings have 8 sacks through the first 2 preseason games, including 2 last Saturday against the Jacksonville Jaguars. 28, George Iloka's in the game, part of the kick coverage team, making his Vikings debut. Carlson's kick bounces and is retrieved by Cyril as he heads to the left side, and he runs into a Viking at about the 21-yard line. It was Antoine Williams, the backup linebacker, after a return of 25. Sleep number stats from the first half: 209 total yards for the Vikings. Time of possession not as lopsided at the end as it was a majority of the first half. And Seattle leading by 4. Breaks the huddle with Russell Wilson still in the game. And the first offensive line also still in the game. The tailback is Chris Carson. He has Seattle's only touchdown tonight. Wilson passes right, incomplete. For the Minnesota Vikings, they begin the second half with their ones: Sheldon Richardson, Linval Joseph, Brian Robinson, the longest tenured Viking. He got the start at left defensive end. He's in. Daniil Hunter still in. Likewise for Eric Kendricks and Anthony Barr. Safeties Andrew Sendejo and Harrison Smith, Trey Wayne, Xavier Rhodes, and Terrence Newman, who will turn 40 years of age next week. He's the nickel corner. Wilson hands it to Carson, and he runs up the middle for a gain of 2. So the ones, Peter, begin the second half.
Yeah, they want him to go out there and see if they can make some adjustments. And you just look at the last play, and with the linemen, the guards that have been pulling, they've been trapping Sheldon Richardson the whole first half. And the first time they come out and try to run that play, Sheldon Richardson is there to make the tackle. So that's him, at least at halftime, getting things straightened out, coming on the field and correcting the mistakes of the first half, and that's pivotal in a regular season.
Seattle 50% on third down, leading by 4 early in the third quarter. This is 3rd and 8. The great Russell Wilson begging for the snap, gets it. No flag, so he got it off in time, and he looks for seldomly used tight end Nick Vannett. The Ohio State product overthrows him. And the Vikings defense starts the second half on a positive note. Seattle goes 3 and out.
Yeah, sneaky little 3 defensive lineman, 3 linebacker group with Eric Wilson coming in to get some snaps on third down, which is great for him to see him get cracking that first team lineup and getting some looks. But a heavy blitz, and almost an all-out blitz by the Minnesota Vikings. Russell Wilson had to throw it away. So nice job responding coming out of halftime by the Viking defense.
Rookie punter Dixon with a high short punt. Marcus Sherrills calls for a fair catch, brings it in at the 31-yard line. 45-yard punt. When we return, the Vikings will try to take the lead against Seattle early in the third quarter on the Vikings Entertainment Network. Vikings football courtesy of the Vikings Entertainment Network on the Northland Ford Dealer scoreboard. Seattle by 4. That guy Kirk Cousins done for the evening. Finishes 17 of 28, 182 yards, passer rating of 79.8. What'd you think?
Well, I liked his arm strength. I liked a couple of the decisions that he made. A couple of them I didn't like. He took a couple hits that I don't think he had to. But even more importantly, Paul, no turnovers, no interceptions, no really dumb mistakes that Kirk Cousins made in the first half.
Trevor Siemian, the new quarterback. Siemian back to pass, throws left, incomplete. Looking for running back Mike Boone, who had a 91-yard game Saturday against the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Vikings offensive line, the second offensive line with a couple of guys who played in front of Cousins in the first half, including Avion Collins. Collins now the left guard to the inside of Storm Norton. Quinn is the center. Danny Isadora has played a majority of the game, didn't get the start. He's the right guard, and rookie Brian O'Neill, the right tackle. Siemian tosses to Boone. Following a cavalcade of Vikings starters, is hit and stopped at the 31-yard line. Mike Boone against Jacksonville, quite the game, Peter.
He did, and it was a very physical game a week ago, and Mike Boone was just what we needed. There's the stiff arm on the linebacker to get himself outside, spring for a big gain, taking the hit before he goes out of bounds. He's a physical runner, and I like him in the zone scheme because he takes the handoffs with his shoulders square and has really good vision, able to plant that leg, cut back upfield, and get some tough yards.
Minnesota 70% on third down. The Simeon-led Vikings trail 10-6. Simeon back to pass, hit as he throws, and he doesn't throw it. In fact, he is sacked. He was sacked by Eric Walden, formerly of the Green Bay Packers and the Indianapolis Colts, signed this week when the Seahawks released a linebacker, Marcus Smith, and the Vikings go 3 and out.
Well, the coaches are not going to like that one as Brian O'Neill gives up the sack. Mike Boone misses the chip block on the way out. So you had 2 guys to block the outside linebacker, and neither one of them got the job done. So there's going to be some discussion on the sidelines. Some unhappy offensive coaches, I'll tell you that right now.
Cyril Grayson with his heels on his own 35. Set to catch the Ryan Quigley punt. Beautiful punt by Quigley. Drives Cyril back to the 25, and he's hit immediately and knocked out of bounds by rookie Holton Hill. It's a 54-yard boomer by Quigley. Back shortly. It's Vikings football on the Vikings Entertainment Network. Speaking of the VEN, said establishment put a microphone on Kirk Cousins.
Let's get it going tonight, Ham. I'll try not to ignore you when you're wide open like last week. Let's go, man. Let's go. Let's go. Have a day. Let's have fun, man. Let's have fun. Let's go, coach. Put one together. How's your body feel? Good job. Good job, man. Way to get back in there. Yeah, way to get back in there.
Russell Wilson still in for the Seattle Seahawks, leading 10-6. And Wilson hands to Carson, and he runs into Tashawn Bauer, who catches him at the line of scrimmage. No gain. Nice tackle by number 90. So the Vikings' first defense went the entire first half and the first series of the third quarter. And now guys like Holton Hill, the undrafted rookie corner from Texas, they will get opportunity. 8 days in front of the team, cutting down to 53. These are big moments for guys like Holton Hill.
No question about it, Paul. He's got to show some more quickness with that size and speed.
Vanette motions to the backfield, offset eye right. Wilson on a 5-step drop. He'll dial one up deep, right side, and it's caught in front of the Seahawks bench. And yes, indeed, it's a legitimate catch by Johnson. Marcus Johnson, 3rd-year receiver from Texas. 32-yard strike from the right arm of Wilson.
Well, Paul, there's not a whole lot you can do defensively on this one. Marcus Sherrills is right in the right position, but let's credit Russell with an unbelievable throw over the shoulder to Marcus Johnson. And now Vikings coaches decide to throw the red flag to take another look at it from the sideline. So make sure this is indeed a catch. But like I said, Paul, Marcus Sherrills is in perfect position on that play. That's just a great throw and catch. I mean, not much you can do defensively about that.
Minnesota is challenging the ruling on the field of a catch. We'll review the play.
What do you think of the identity of this Seattle Seahawks offense?
Well,
we'll talk about it momentarily. Let's pause. 10-6 Seattle, 11.5 minutes to go in the third quarter on the Vikings Entertainment Network. Vikings football courtesy of the VEN. Pete, we just lost the challenge.
Yeah, we did. And, in these preseason games, you don't have the plethora of cameras that you're used to. But you got to credit Marcus Johnson with getting both feet in bounds, Paul. That looked like a great catch. And like I said, Russell Wilson is so impressive with his accuracy down the field. That was one great throw.
88 rookie tight end Will Dissey. The Seahawks are high on him. He's in. And Wilson goes play action on a deep drop. Russell, feeling good about himself, fires deep left side, incomplete, front left of the end zone. The intended receiver was Caleb Scott.
Well, very nice job by Jaron Curse, Paul, to see that crossing route coming right up the middle of the field. You'll see him just enter in right at the end and almost gets run by, but has the speed to catch up. But Jaron Curse, this is important for him with George Iloka coming into town.
Yeah.
All these safeties are pressing right now, I guarantee.
And Jaron missed the first 2 preseason games. He's making his preseason debut this evening. Wilson hands it to Davis, and he spurts up the middle between the hash marks to the 37-yard line. And he run it 5 yards, making a 3rd down. It'll be 3rd and 5 for Seattle as a near fracas breaks out. First near fracas we have had this preseason, and that includes 2 joint practices between Jacksonville and the Vikings.
Now it started with Eric Wilson, and then the Seattle offensive lineman, I couldn't see his number, but he just didn't want to let it go. You can see after the play. I mean, offensive linemen are taught to play into the whistle. Another trap up the middle. Deshaun Bauer making the play. But Wilson with the hand up, and I mean, it just kept on going. And Brown takes exception to something that somebody said went after him. So,
well, you know what? That
should be a penalty on them.
That's Jermaine Ifedi, and he's had hot head problems all of his career. Seattle 2 of 5 on 3rd down. Wilson 3rd and 6 from the Vikings 37. Timeout, Seattle. Play clock had run down to 2.
Seattle, their first. It will be 30 seconds.
Yeah, Jermaine Ifedi, in his 3rd year from Texas A&M. He was a first-round pick in 2016. We saw him make his Seattle debut in the preseason a few years ago, and he's tenacious, but he also has some hothead to him, and that's been problematic for him with Pete Carroll and with the Seahawks. You know, and it just emerged a little bit there where clearly he was blocking a little too vigorously after the whistle.
Right, and other guys getting in the mix. And Paul, you know that the story last year out of Seattle was just how much maligned that offensive line was. So they're keeping a lot of their starters and a lot of their veterans in.
Yeah,
I think late to get a good look at them to make sure that group is operating. Because if they can give Russell Wilson time to keep him on his feet and not have him hurrying throws, he's as good of a quarterback as we've seen in the league. He's outstanding,
including offensive lineman Ethan Posick in his 2nd year from LSU. Loved him into the draft last year. 3rd down, Wilson, blitz, hit, throws, nothing. Stephen Weatherly came in with a big rush and a big shot on the diminutive Wilson. Now they're going to try Sebastian Janikowski for a long field goal.
Well, when you're blitzing a defensive back, and
it's a big hit by Weatherly.
It is, and you don't want to turn. If you're the running back, you don't turn the D lineman free. You get the most dangerous man.
Yep.
Don't go after the safety. Go after the defensive lineman. And Janikowski here, Paul, big kick.
In regular and/or postseason, Sebastian has 55 makes at 50 yards or more, most in the NFL. Snap spot, left-footed kick is good. Sebastian Janikowski kicks Seattle to a 13-6 lead at US Bank Stadium. This is Minnesota Vikings football. Season Minnesota Vikings football, courtesy of the Vikings Entertainment Network. The Minnesota Lottery scoring drive, 6 plays, 38 yards, 211, capped by that guy in his 19th year from Florida State, the behemoth Sebastian Janikowski. And every time I see him, I giggle. A, because of how big he is, but B, because of how good he still is. You know, he made that field goal from 55. He has 55 makes at 50 yards or more, most in NFL history. Holds Raider records for points, games played, and seasons of service. I mean, he absolutely is kicking immortality, and boom, nails this one. I got behind that one too. Jeff Badette lets it sail over his head, and that's a touchback.
Paul, what's interesting is a lot of these touchback rules in the kicking game, they changed because of Janikowski and his ability to kick the thing out the back of the end zone on a consistent basis. But when you look at a Sebastian Janikowski, you can't look at the man, you got to look at the results. And
no doubt,
as you've gone through, those results have been wonderful. And look at us tonight. We're looking at a young kicker missing 2 field goals, both from 42 yards. I mean,
yeah,
there's something to be said about a guy who's reliable.
Trevor Siemian supplanted Kirk Cousins to begin the second half with Seattle leading 13-6. Siemian goes out of the shotgun. Mike Boone by his side. Siemian whips it out right, caught Blake Bell, and he's out of bounds at the 26-yard line. We have a local connection in the game now. It's that guy, Brandon Zylstra. Missed the first 2 preseason games as Zylstra is replaced by Conklin. Zylstra is another Minnesotan on the roster. He's from Spicer. Played collegiately at Concordia Moorhead. Spent the previous 2 seasons in the Canadian Football League with the Edmonton Eskimos. Led the CFL in receiving yards last year, 1,687. Great to have Brandon Zylstra back in the mix. Also great to have Mike Boone in the mix as he runs for 7 yards. You know, Boone, 3 for 3 preseason games, has gotten first crack at running following Cook and Murray tonight, but Murray overall. Rock Thomas had those 2 receiving touchdowns against Denver, but given the amount Boone has played and the fact that he gets first crack, I got to make him heavily favored to get that third running back spot.
Right. You're absolutely right, Paul. And we get the Simeon quarterback sneak to get the first down. And
let's go.
I'll tell you this, Boone, with the running game that DeFilippo has right now, is much better suited, I think, than even Latavius Murray. Latavius Murray, like I've said before, looks really good.
Yeah.
This coming into his second season here.
Yep.
But Mike Boone, boy, he's like made for this type of a running game.
Zylstra back in wide right during his time at Concordia Moorhead. 120 catches, 1,932 yards, and 18 TDs. He's wide right, they run. Boone goes grinding, and he'll fall ahead for a gain of 1. Now, with Zylstra, he's playing with Simeon in the second half. And behind Diggs, Thielen, and Treadwell, Stacy Coley is hurt. And Coley didn't play against Jacksonville, and he's not playing again tonight. And I'm certainly not trying to get the second-year Kane cut. But behind the first 3, you definitely have 2 openings. And with what Zylstra did in the CFL, how hard the Vikings went for him and what they paid to get him, I mean, despite missing the first 2 preseason games, I have to give Brandon a fair shot to make the final 53. As Simeon passes, it's deflected, and it goes back to Simeon, who slides to the 38-yard line. The old Brad Johnson play, the oldest trick in the book.
Well, it doesn't happen too often. Most of the time, you'd like to see your quarterback just bat it to the ground and let it be an incomplete pass. But then again, everybody here is trying to make the team, so they're trying to make something happen. But to go back to Zylstra, Paul, yeah, I absolutely agree. We have room for a receiver like him, and Chad Beebe's shown up the first couple games of this preseason, so he's got to be motivated to go out there and make something happen.
Zylstra wide left. Simeon on third down, hit and sacked. Trevor Simeon was sacked. It's Brandon Jackson, third-year defensive end from Texas Tech, and Quigley is in to punt. Set to boom it away to Cyril Grayson.
That was Avion Collins giving up the pressure. And for Collins, he's been in a lot of this game, but when you duck your head and stop your feet, that's what happens. Defensive tackles have a tendency to run around you. So just a fundamental mistake by Avion Collins, playing a little tackle, playing some guard. No matter where you play, though, as an offensive lineman, you got to have great feet, and you got to keep moving those feet.
That is David Moore deep for Seattle. Big rush on Quigley, and Moore runs up to it, brings it into the 27, far side, to the 30 and to the 35-yard line, where he is destroyed by a couple of Vikings, including Anthony Harris, rookie Devontae Downs, and fellow rookie tight end Tyler Conklin. Capture the magic of the 2017 NFC North champion Vikings with your official 2018 Vikings yearbook. Available now at VikingsYearbook.com. The Vikings and Seattle Seahawks meet in the regular season. They will play December 10th on Monday Night Football. That's week 14. Seattle has won 11 of its last 12 Monday Night Football games and has 1 Monday Night Football loss at home in the last 13 years. New quarterback in for Seattle. Davis, the tailback, takes the carry. Stiff arms Ben Gideon. And we run down to the sidelines. Here's Ben Lieber.
Thanks a lot, PA. We've got Dalvin Cook here. And Dalvin, 227 days since you tore your ACL. We missed you the first 2 preseason games, and then you get 3 plays and 2 carries. But how'd it feel?
Felt great. Get banged around, tossed around. It felt great just to be out there.
Did you want more?
It is what it is. I know I'm ready, though. I'm ready.
You are ready?
Yeah.
I know it takes a while for the explosion to kind of come back from an ACL. Where are you from that standpoint?
I've been practicing and I've been training this whole time. So, everybody on the sideline, they know, what I hold, what I bring to the table. So, it's still there. I'm the same player.
You went from Shermer last year to DeFilippo this year. How's the run game different for you and for the team?
It's basically the same thing, man. Coach didn't try to change things too much. He's tried to implement a little bit of what we did last year, just add his style to it. But it's pretty much the same thing, and the things we're doing are great things.
How does that style complement what Kirk does?
A lot, man, because Kirk's a real good play-action passer, and we all know, Kirk loves to throw the ball. So, you know, if we could get things going in the run game, you know, we can open up a lot of things for him just to throw this thing around.
You and I were just watching the running back over here for Seattle, but the Vikings have a third running back competition going on between Rock Thomas and Mike Boone. What's your assessment of those two players?
They're the best of friends too, man. They learn from each other and they try to learn from me and Tay. So, you know, it's going to be a competition all preseason for the next game and this game. So, you know, it's going to be exciting to see what it comes down to.
All right, I want you to finish this sentence. For the Vikings to win the Super Bowl, they must do what?
Win a lot of games.
That's like saying, hey, we got to score points on offense.
We gotta win a lot of games. We gotta come, but we gotta win more than we won last year. I'll tell you that. So that's the goal, man. We just gotta go out here and we gotta win, man, as much as we can.
How tough was it for you to watch all of last year, the success of the team, and then for it to sort of end like that?
It was hard, man. Just to see my team go out there and compete without me, just knowing, you know, I could help them, you know, a lot. I need to be out there with those guys. So it's all about being available in this league. So, you know, I'm going to work my tail off to be available every game.
All right, man. You heard it here, guys. Appreciate it. Best of luck, bud.
I appreciate it.
Hey, Ben, excellent job. And, boy, can't wait for Dalvin Cook to make his debut against the San Francisco 49ers. Like Ben said, you know, he played 3 plays tonight and ran it a couple of times for -1, but he did take a couple of hits. How about Dalvin Cook's debut in the National Football League? September 11th last year, went for 127 rushing yards, had 10 receiving yards, no touchdowns, but those totals right there would put you in contention to become NFC Offensive Player of the Week. But that went the way of Sam Bradford, who absolutely tore up the Saints that evening.
No, he did. That was a great, outstanding. It was an outstanding offensive showing for multiple Minnesota Vikings. And one of the things that surprised me with Dalvin Cook was just how involved in the offense he was as a rookie. For running backs coming out of college, one of the most challenging things for them is picking up protections, doing those things. They had him in first, second, third down. They were throwing to him. They were handing him the football. He got a lot of the offensive load early in the season. And I think going into year 2, Paul, despite being in rehab, he might be really feeling better because that rookie year is a long, long year.
Simeon on 3rd and 9. Trevor, claustrophobic, runs out to the left, drops the ball, rolls out of bounds. Now we're punting. Boy, Danny Isidoro sure is getting a long look at right guard. Mike Remmers, who had not played in the preseason, he started the game, played 1 series. It was an elongated series. Rashad Hill, the right tackle, he also played that series, but then he was replaced by Avion Collins. Isidora has gone the distance at right guard, and you know, Remmers he'll start at right guard, assuming he stays healthy into the regular season. But it's good to see the second-year product from the University of Miami get this much experience in the 3rd preseason game.
Well, no question about it. And as a backup offensive lineman, you want to show that kind of versatility, Paul. That you can hang in there, you can start a couple games. I mean, that's really how you divide your backups. Can a guy win a couple games for you while the starter is on the shelf and has to get healthy?
Quickly, David Moore on the run, shakes the tackle at the 50, weaves to the left across the 45, and he's down in Vikings territory at the 42-yard line. And there is a flag on the play, I believe, against the Seattle Seahawks.
You get a holding call against Seattle. Not a great night for the kicking game, Paul.
Yeah. Brad
During
Allen.
the kick, holding, receiving team number 40. The penalty is administered 10 yards from the end of the kick. First down, Seattle.
Only the 4th penalty this evening. We had 4 in the Jacksonville game with the Hockey staff. We had 4 penalties called in like the first 2.5 minutes of the game.
Well,
there were 28 penalties called in that game and 20 accepted. Holy cow!
I know it's pretty unbelievable, and that's another crazy part of the NFL is how different each officiating crew is, and they're led by the referee, and he dictates to his group, this is how we're going to call a game. We're going to call a tight game, call a loose game. I mean, much better flow of the game tonight with this officiating crew. I mean, you can't tell me that this game's being played any more neatly than the one last week.
Procise on the carry, takes it from Austin Davis, the 2nd quarterback used this evening for the Seattle Seahawks. It's a gain of 3. There's Tashawn Bauer. He's in the game with Jaleel Johnson, David Perry, and Stephen Weatherly up front. The linebackers, Eric Wilson, Kentrell brothers. Safeties are Anthony Harris and Jaron Kearse. Holton Hill and Marcus Sherrill's in a corner. Ben Gideon also in as the Vikings are in their 4-3 base. Davis, a Southern Miss product, looking at 2nd and 7. Play action. Bowers in his mix. Dump caught at the 41-yard line by Tyrone Swoops, known as a run-blocking tight end. It's a gain of 2. And now it's 3rd down with 2 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. 3rd preseason game. Final home preseason game, and Seattle leads 13-6.
Another nice play by Jaron Kearse, who showed up earlier on a big passing play and sniffs out that bootleg for a nice tackle. I'll tell you what, a guy like Eric Wilson, who had a huge tackle during the Ben Lieber interview with Dalvin Cook on a screen. That was a play that killed us all last week. It's nice to see the defense make some adjustments and make a play on that. 3-receiver set for Davis, who dials one up deep, incomplete. Barely overshot the outstretched arms of David Moore, the intended receiver, as Marcus Sherrills goes down to a left knee, holding his right hamstring. Dr. Chris Larson of TCO, Twin Cities Orthopedics, along with certified athletic trainer Eric Sugarman, out on the scene. Now that's just does not look good for Marcus Sherrills. I mean, it looks like he's grabbing up high on the hamstring. That's never a good spot. And you know, for a guy like Marcus, he needs every ounce of speed that he has. It's the 2nd time Seattle has tested him vertically, and I think he got his legs caught up a little bit, landed on that hamstring a little awkwardly, and now he's being escorted off the field. So
new Viking George Iloka in the game. There he is, rangy safeties, played 7 years with the Cincinnati Bengals, and his only snaps this evening have been on special teams. Big rush on Dixon, gets off a high spiral, and that will float to the 1-yard line. What a great pump by this rookie. Holy cow. Goes out of bounds at the 3-yard line. I mean, that thing looked dead set to fly into the end zone. And the Seattle Seahawks are absolutely mugging their rookie punter right now.
They're excited for him. Chad Beebe getting a chance to go back and maybe
sweet.
Return a punt.
Yeah.
But when the perfect spiral of a punt ball, when you can do that and get the nose of the ball to turn over, it's going to bury itself in this turf and kick back just like Greg Coleman would do with a sand wedge. So,
Ben Lieber, what do you think of this rookie punter Dixon?
I got to tell you what, the guys I was talking to pregame, they absolutely love this guy. He came out of Australia, didn't play high school football until his senior year, goes to University of Texas. Apparently he's got 9 different punts that he has that can kind of banana one way, banana another way, stop, come. He can pull the string back. He's got a drop kick that he was displaying pregame where I'm not kidding, he was drop kicking a ball with a half swing 55 yards in the air. Ooh. So they said this guy can do it all, and they've never seen a punter in which everybody stands up and wants to watch punt just because he's so talented.
Yeah, with all those tools in the proverbial toolbox, it reminds me of a Baltimore Sam Cook, who has an array of punts like that, and he's definitely one of the best in the game. 2nd down, handoff Boone, hit at the 8-yard line for a run of 1 yard. Deep in the 3rd quarter, there's Boone, the undrafted product from Cincinnati. 13-6 Seattle. Kirk Cousins played the entire first half and went 17 of 28, 182 yards. Latavius Murray averaged 2.5 yards per run, but he did have a touchdown, and Latavius had 3 catches for 32 yards. Trevor Siemian, the former Bronco by way of Northwestern, from the shotgun on 3rd down, facing a blitz, swings it right to Boone, and he gallops out of bounds at about the 15-yard line with a Minnesota Vikings first down. Mike Boone.
Well, Mike Boone on the hard sprint to the flat, and Trevor Siemian throwing the ball outside. A great catch by the running back.
Final quarter of the 3rd preseason game around the corner. Vikings trailing by 7 on the Vikings Entertainment Network. Vikings preseason football on the Vikings Entertainment Network. Seattle by 7. Here's the Vikings schedule presented by U.S. Bank. We debut September 9th against the San Francisco 49ers here. Then a trip to Lambeau Field. Leslie Frazier's defense with the Buffalo Bills September 23rd. Short week to the Rams. Then you follow that up 10 days later by playing the Eagles. We get the Seahawks December 10th. Week 14 on Monday Night Football. Trevor Siemian, the pass left to Mike Boone. And that'll be a very short gain, if any. No, in fact, it's going to be a loss of 4 yards, making it 2nd and 14.
What we haven't seen out of our offense, Paul, is a ton of drop back passing, especially out of the second string with Siemian in there, and just getting a feel for some routes, getting some route combinations down the field to get open. We haven't seen our wide receivers have not had the opportunity really to get downfield and show what they can do.
2nd and 14 from the 11, and Siemian is under center, goes on a deep drop, steps up. He eludes the pressure for now, then he dumps to the left looking for rookie Tyler Conklin. In the game, 49 for the Seattle Seahawks. There he is. His name is Shaquem Griffin. His twin Shaquille is a corner for the Seattle Seahawks. They were twins born July 20th of 1995, and for the first time in National Football League history, assuming both these players make the Seahawks, likewise for Devin and Jason McCourty with the New England Patriots. First time in NFL history, 2 sets of twins could be playing regular season games. Siemian steps up on 3rd down, incomplete. Now, Shaquem, if you get a close look at him, he is sans a left hand. He had it amputated at age 4 as a result of amniotic band syndrome. Super cool, Ben Lieber, that he and his twin brother, play on the same team.
Yeah, it's pretty special. They had the inkling that the Seahawks were going to draft him and join his brother, but until it really happens, you just don't know. And what an inspirational story. I think if you follow college football at Central Florida and his story through the draft, it's pretty remarkable the things that he has to overcome between the special device he has to use to lift weights, just to how he plays the game and how he approaches life. He actually just almost got a punt blocked right there with his good hand, but he is a special talent that I think is going to definitely make this team and be an inspiration for a lot of years.
Well stated, young man. Shaquille and Shaquem played at Central Florida with Mike Hughes. 53-yard punt for Ryan Quigley. Back shortly, 4th quarter, Minneapolis, Vikings football. It's Vikings football, 3rd preseason game as the Skull Chant breaks out. Vikings Entertainment Network providing preseason festivities. Seattle leads 13-6, and Ben Lieber is with Kyle Rudolph.
Thanks a lot, PA. Yeah, we got Kyle here, and Kyle, you always make me feel small, so thank you for that. Today, offense came out. I know you guys wish you had more points on the board, but you look so much different than last week. What was the difference between last week and this week?
Just a sense of urgency. The team that came out last week, that's not us. It's the team that showed up week 1 against Denver and moved the ball down the field. The team that you see tonight, that's who we expect to be all year long. So, we kind of went back to the drawing board this week at practice and just had that sense of urgency to come out and wanted to move the football, and we did that 3 out of our 4 drives.
And it seemed like even with Kirk himself, he was throwing the ball with more velocity. You talk about that sense of urgency. Did you feel that sense of urgency from him in the huddle?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's the leader of our offense and, quite frankly, the leader of this team. So, he had a greater sense of urgency throughout the huddle and all week in practice. So, it all starts with him, and he brought it tonight.
There are a lot in the offseason has been made of how this new offense under DiFilippo is so friendly to tight ends. Maybe we haven't seen that so much in the preseason, but what do you expect to see your utilization of tight ends in the regular season?
Hopefully like you used it in 15 and like they used the tight end in Philly. But, yeah, I'm excited. We got so many playmakers on offense. It'll be fun to see the ball get spread around. And, if you're a defensive coordinator, I don't know who you're going to take away because we have so many playmakers on offense.
Outside of getting Kirk Cousins as a new quarterback, you guys, unfortunately, because of the Tony Sparano passing, Todd Downing is now your new tight ends coach. How's that transition been, and how's he been with you guys as tight ends?
TD's awesome. And here we go. We got a turnover. That's what I'm talking about. TD's been awesome. He's a guy that's been a former coordinator in this league. He has a great conceptual mind, and he sees things in the passing game and then still leans on Clancy in terms of our technique and execution in the run game. So, we still trying to take what we learned from Clancy last year and apply it this year, but TD's been great in our room.
All right, man. Outstanding. Always a pleasure. Best of luck to you, and we'll see more tight end catches in the regular season, won't we?
I hope so.
Hey, George Iloka, welcome to the Vikings. There he is, 28. He caused the interception, and it was Anthony Harris on the pick.
You look at George Iloka out there, Paul, at 6'4", 225. He's bigger than Eric Wilson. He's bigger than Kentrell Brothers, and he can move. He understands the quarterback's rolling out, buying some extra time. He jumps on that inside dig route, tips the ball, get the interception. Great team defense. It's great to see a veteran like Iloka make an impact that quickly, and that's what you want to see out of a former starter. Getting there against the twos, some of the threes, make something happen, and he did.
Kobe McCrary, formerly of the Golden Gophers, in the game. There's George Iloka, a rangy safety, 7th year from Boise State, drafted into the NFL in the 5th round of the 2012 draft by Mike Zimmer when he was defensive coordinator for the Bengals. Played 2 seasons there for Zimmer. He had 80 tackles last year for Cincinnati. Sloter passes right, caught at the 25-yard line. And it's caught by Chad Beebe. So Iloka, 4 of his last 5 seasons, has played 16 games. Now, the Vikings Entertainment Network, we are not trying to make him sound like a cross between John Lynch and Ronnie Lott, but nevertheless, players who start and play all 16 games for the last 5 years with like 80 tackles, and kind of have some hybrid, smaller linebacker but big safety, really good against the run. They don't become available too frequently.
No, they don't. And with Zimmer being able to bring him back into the fold, I'm sure he has some defenses up his sleeve where he could utilize a guy that big and that fast.
Sloter to the 22-yard line. Beebe, gain of 5, first down.
You gotta love the way Beebe's just getting out there and contributing, Paul. He's not very big, as you know by looking at him, but he has the wiggle underneath to get open. And I'll tell you what, he's had a very, very good preseason thus far.
Well, he's 5'10", and I mean, cliche as it may sound, when you are Don Beebe's son, your route running's probably going to be pretty sharp, and that's exactly what offensive coordinator John DeFilippo likes about him. His tenacity and his route running is incredibly precise. Boom, up the middle, good cut left. Oh, he's ankle tackled at the 14-yard line. Nice open field tackle by Lorenzo Jerome, 2nd-year safety from St. Francis in Pennsylvania. 8-yard gain for Boone, who has played extensively this second half. Kobe McCrary just signed this week when fullback Johnny Stanton was lost in that Jaguars game. Conspicuously, no Rock Thomas this evening.
No, they're giving Mike Boone the opportunity to really win that number 3 spot, Paul, and he's taking advantage of it. He almost broke a linebacker's ankle, Mike Pugh, on that last play with that cutback. It's just phenomenal.
Boone, 14, no game. 10:54 and counting to go in the game as Beebe returns. Backup tight end Hoppes departs. 13-6. Seattle. The Vikings' only touchdown way back early in the second quarter. Latavius Murray with a 1-yard run, capping a 97-yard drive. Vikings went for a 2-point conversion, and it was no good. Seattle has a touchdown and a couple of Sebastian Janikowski field goals. Sloter on 3rd down. Passes right, caught Boone inside the 10-5. And Boone is out of bounds at the 4. It's 1st and goal. Catch of 9.
That's the versatility Boone gives you. He's just immediately out of the backfield, Paul. Gets out to the flat, and Sloter smartly just gets it to him. He beats Shaquem Griffin out to the flat and able to move the chains. And we've seen that out of our running backs with this offense. We saw it a lot versus Denver. And now as we get closer to deeper into this red zone, you're seeing the running backs get more involved in the passing game.
1st and goal, Minnesota from the 4-yard line. Sloter hands off to Boone, up the middle, eludes 1 tackle at the 5 and dives ahead to the 1, maybe 2-yard line for a gain of right around 2, maybe 3 yards. We mentioned Shaquem Griffin earlier, who had his left hand amputated at age 4 as a result of amniotic band syndrome. When you're playing linebacker, weak side linebacker like he does, by not having a left hand, how does it impact you?
Well, you have a harder time catching the football. You're going to have a harder time with locking out on blocks and trying to get guys off you. It's amazing what that young man has been able to accomplish with that handicap.
Pass right, Jake Wieneke. Touchdown Vikings. Go crazy, Maple Grove. Jake Wieneke just scored a touchdown. and the Vikings are trailing by 1.
Well, we went for 2 on the first touchdown, came up empty, and now we're sending Dan Carlson out for the extra point. But
I have no problem with that.
Yes, no, you want to get him out there, see how he responds, see how he comes back. But what a great job! I mean, what a great job by Sloter, and eventually finding Winicky in the end zone. So a nice drive put together by the young quarterback.
Carlson 4 of 4 this preseason on extra points. Snap spot. Daniel Carlson's extra point is good. Sloter to Jake Winicky, and the game is tied at 13. 9:09 to go on the Vikings Entertainment Network. Football courtesy of the Vikings Entertainment Network. Here is the Minnesota Lottery scoring drive. There's Jake Winicky of Maple Grove chatting with Stephon Diggs, Spicer's Brandon Zylstra, Detroit Lakes Adam Thielen. Don't exactly know what is next for Jake Winicky, but whatever is next, he will have that memory of catching a National Football League preseason touchdown from Kyle Sloter. Good for Jake. He established the South Dakota State University single season record for TD receptions with 16, reaching that total in 2014, 16, and 17. 6'4", Maple Grove, Minnesota native by way of South Dakota State University. Good for Jake and his family. Here's Carlson with a boomer. He's frustrated. He missed 2 field goals. Kicked that one high. 8 yards deep in the end zone. Kirk Cousins played the entire first half for the Minnesota Vikings, going 17 of 28 for 182, Pete.
He made a lot of good decisions, some accurate throws against some man-to-man, and Seattle came after him. They always had somebody in his face, and some of the receivers getting open, making some moves, getting some things done. He took a couple extra hits that he didn't need to, but bounced back and played well. So for Kirk Cousins, it's a matter of getting him time, because when he did have time in the pocket, he was deli down the field, especially in that 2-minute drill to Laquan Treadwell where he hit him a couple times across the middle. So it was nice to see that combo get going as well.
Alex McGough, the quarterback for Seattle. Handoff gets to the 25 for no gain. 28 back in the game for the Minnesota Vikings. New safety George Iloka. He tipped a pass that was intercepted by Anthony Harris, Ben Lieber, while you were interviewing Kyle Rudolph. What do you think the anticipated long play is for Iloka now in the mix?
Well, I think he's just going to be another weapon. I don't think he's necessarily going to take over Sendejo's spot. I think he's just going to be another guy they can use in big nickel situations or dime situations now, or maybe you can use Anthony Barr as a pass rusher now and maybe take out a bigger defensive tackle and have some speed rush guys up front, bring him in the box along with Harrison Smith. And I think that's the beauty of what he can do, is he's built like Harrison, has a similar game to Harrison. He can disguise like Harrison. So I think that Sendejo should be fine as far as keeping his spot and being that deep center fielder. And Iloka's just going to be another pawn they can use.
Well, Ben, one of the things about Iloka is they mentioned him changing his number from 28, but he may be wearing something in the 50s, because Zimmer mentioned the lack of linebacker depth. And you're looking at a guy who's 6'4", 225. He could just be a speedy linebacker for the Vikings.
McGough running for a first down.
Yeah, he really could be, and I think that's the fascinating thing about the signing and what he brings as far as a player is he can be an in-the-box player. He can be a blitz guy.
Yeah.
I think he's big enough, with some coaching, he can probably take on some blocks and all that stuff, which he probably wouldn't have to do in obvious passing situations. But yeah, you just don't know where some blitzes are going to come from now, where he has the ability to be, again, just like Harrison on the line of scrimmage, and then right when the ball snapped, jet back and get into coverage. So it's going to be really hard for these offenses.
Offense, number 74, 5-yard penalty. First down.
It's going to be really hard for these offenses to know, okay, who's the trigger to the defense? Is it Harrison? Is it Andrew?
Yeah.
Is it George? Who's it going to be?
Well, yeah, but guys, I mean, I can't see the Vikings keeping 5 safeties. So Smith, Sendejo, and Iloka are in. I don't think George comes here if he's not going to play, or certainly make the team. Now you got J-Ron Kearse and Anthony Harris. Do you think they're competing for one spot?
I definitely think they are. And J-Ron Kearse has kind of been his own worst enemy, I think, and making some decisions and not always being the smartest player on the field. But tonight he showed up. He showed up and played like a guy that whose job was on the line. And that's the NFL, though. When you have an active management who wants to bring in as much talent when they can, familiar talent, in this case with Iloka, absolutely one of these two guys is going to be sent on their way.
Migu. Incomplete.
Well, guys, I think there's another thing that is in the background here with Iloka signing is I think you're starting to see, along with Sheldon Richardson and Iloka, just sort of how players feel about this team nationally. You know, what they think about this organization, what they think about the coaches. These guys want to come here. And, you know, in my time here with the Vikings, you know, I don't remember a time where it's been a hot as a product in a bigger brand where guys actually want to come here and they want to sign for a veteran minimum just to be on a good team.
Well, you said something earlier, Ben, about 3 safety sub packages. I'd like to elaborate on that in a minute. Migu passes left, and it is incomplete. Now, we'll get into it more maybe when the Vikings go back on defense because we have a punt here. But in the penultimate game in 2013, Pete and I are at Cincinnati. And the Vikings in Leslie Frazier's final season, they're playing Mike Zimmer's defense, and the Bengals are crushing the Vikings. And in that game, Zimmer used safeties George Iloka, Chris Crocker, and Reggie Nelson basically the entire game. So you guys know 1,000 times more about defense and schemes and stuff like that than me. What can you do with 3 safeties? Well, we I guess have a challenge coming up here. Well, we'll get into this momentarily. Game tied at 13, Vikings Entertainment Network. Vikings football on the Vikings Entertainment Network. A challenge is in play, whether a member of the Seahawks caught the ball for a first down. There's Pete Carroll. Take a look at the replay.
I think the question was possession.
Yeah, it is.
Because he bobbles it.
That's Caleb Scott.
I think he comes down with it, but by the time he comes down with it, those knees are out of bounds. So I just don't see enough, information here to, overturn that call. But you never know these days.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field has been changed.
Uh-oh.
The receiver caught the pass.
Okay.
Therefore, it is a completion.
Nice call,
It will be
Pete.
1st and 10 on the 43-yard line on the Seattle hash. Seattle is not charged with a challenge or its timeout. It will be 1st down. Please set the game clock to 6:15. 6:15 on the game clock.
Wait a second. That's cool, though, because now we can continue with the super special conversation of the 3 safety packages and the schemes and everything. So, 2013 penultimate game. Crocker, Iloka, Nelson, Zimmer used it the entire game. It was unbelievable. Pete, you were there. Ben, you talked about the sub packages with Iloka still in the game. What do you guys think?
Well, I remember that game, Paul, and I also remember playing against this team here, Seattle.
Flag on the play, Magoo.
Magoo was scrambling his way down about the 9-yard line, but that's coming back.
I'm not Magooing, I'm booing.
I remember against Seattle as well, what defenses are able to do is take out a linebacker, you put in an extra safety. And as an offense, you have to run it.
Offense, number 66. 10-yard penalty. 1st down.
Now I'm not booing, I'm magooing.
You've got to make sure, if for an offense, you want to make sure that safety has to be able to step up in the run, get some big bodies on him. And we were never able to run those defenses out of that look. So George Iloka, depending on how physical he can be in the box, if he has to get in there, and how good his reads are when he's only 3 or 4 yards off the line of scrimmage, how well he can read linemen, running backs, those kinds of things, it provides an opportunity, because I guarantee you the young man can blitz.
Magoo, 1st and 17. 2 receivers left, 1 right. Fires, caught at the 40. So now, Ben, with Iloka in the mix with Sendejo and Smith, say they do consider sub-packages with 3 safeties. Is it too late in the training camp or practice equation to do stuff that you can actually start using September 9th against the Niners?
Well, it might be a little late. I mean, the good thing is he has familiarity with the defense. So as far as the calls go and the reads, he'll be okay. It's going to take him a little bit of an adjustment period to get back on track with Coach Zimmer. But the beauty is it's all team specific. This isn't a package that they have to run every week. It's if you're going to face a team that is 4 and 5 wides predominantly, and you're going to be in a lot more nickel and dime situations, then then you bring out that package. So I wouldn't expect to see it a lot of snaps each and every week. I think they can kind of bring it on slowly, and it actually might be beneficial to kind of bring it on slow just to give offenses a little more something to look at as the season goes on.
When Zimmer found out that they actually signed Iloka, I guarantee you he reached deep into his credenza at his office, grabbed that old Cincinnati playbook, still covered in dust, even though it just been moved, blew it off, went right to the chapter, which allows that extra safety to be in there. So he's got those packages somewhere in that playbook.
Touchdown Seattle. David Moore from Magoo, 36-yard TD, 19-13. Seattle.
This is just simple football. As far as throwing hitches and curls and coming up with the ball, you just have to make the tackle. And not a great effort there by the defensive backs on that last drive. As the Seattle Seahawks are on the field, they're excited for the younger part of their team, and now our offense is going to have to get out there with 4 minutes and 10 seconds left, Paul, to try to, dare I say, tie this thing up. I hope we would go for 2 and stay out of the overtime situation, but you never know.
Seabass never misses, and it's 20-13 Seattle with 4:10 to go in the game.
Now you look at Iloka, you wonder if he could play a little corner late in this game with Trayvon Mathis just kind of letting that one go. So nice effort by the defense. The defensive line was doing well. You know, it's actually good to see Afadi Adenabo back in there. I mean, he got in there a little bit late, but it's good to see him back in the game.
In Thursday's preseason finale from Nashville and against the Tennessee Titans, Minnesota Vikings general manager Rick Spielman will join us for at least part of the third quarter, maybe third quarter in its entirety. The Vikings, with kick return, have sent Holton Hill back for the kick return. Now, fellow rookie Mike Hughes did not play this evening. Nothing serious, didn't practice this week. But Holton Hill getting his first opportunity to return a kick in the National Football League, and he will take full advantage. 5 yards deep. And here comes Holton Hill. He's speedy. Gets to the 15, to the 20. A flag on the play. Holton Hill is down at the 25-yard line. You know, the mantra and/or cliche in the NFL is do whatever it takes. You know, if Holton Hill, who had kind of a rough game against Jacksonville from a cornerback standpoint, gets the opportunity to return some kicks, it definitely will be, yes, Mr. Prefer, yes, Mr. Prefer, 3 bags full.
Absolutely. It's, the more you can do, as they say. I mean, no question about it, Paul. Holton Hill's trying to find a place on this team where he can fit in, and if he shows up in enough different areas and can convince this team to keep him on the practice squad, then that's a good start for the young man. Had a rough time coming out of college. Didn't really get drafted as highly as he expected to be. So
there was an illegal formation on the kicking team.
Yeah.
Excuse me, on the receiving team.
Okay.
That penalty is declined. It's first down.
With 4:03 to go in the game, and the Vikings trailing by 7. Yeah, not that Spielman will marry himself next Thursday. 8 days. We are 8 days from cutting down to 53, so he's not going to marry himself to sharing all of the intel on the Vikings Entertainment Network. But Holton Hill is in a precarious spot. They will keep a lot of defensive backs. He was undrafted, very highly touted at one point of his run at Texas. Basically kicked off the team for the final 4 games. The Vikings paid a hefty price to win the rights to Holton Hill via college free agency. And, he's in a logjam with the likes of Xavier Rhodes, Trey Waynes, Mackenzie Alexander didn't play tonight, Mike Hughes didn't play tonight. I certainly would imagine both of them are in. Terrence Newman, at age 40 next week or in a week and change, he's not coming back unless he's in. That's 5 corners right there. So Holton makes 6. Swing to Boone. Stutter steps out of bounds at the 29-yard line. There's 6 right there. Now you look at 4 safeties. Smith, Sendejo, Iloka, and Curse is You know, he's a #1 gunner opposite Marcus Sherrills, and he's good at it, so that's an important role. Anthony Harris, you know, he's undrafted from Virginia a few years ago. He's been part of the mix. And you have Marcus Sherrills, you know, who returns punts and is an incredibly good special teamer. Let's go down to Ben with number 54.
Thanks a lot, PA. Yeah, Eric Kendricks, we got you right here. Fat new contract. We don't have to get into that stuff. You can keep that money where you want to keep it. But you guys had Russell Wilson out here tonight. I mean, he's a tremendous test for any defense, right? Now, I get it's a preseason game, but he always brings his A game. How do you guys feel like you did as a defense going against Russell Wilson and his scrambling ability?
I mean, we did all right. You know, times he obviously got outside of the pocket, but we plastered pretty well and covered downfield. He had a couple shots. They had a couple runs, but you know, we're going to clean it up.
All right, last week they kind of tried you on a long pass. You broke it up. This week they tried you again. Why do people keep trying you on these long passes? That's your game. That's what you do really well.
I don't know. I mean, hopefully I can get one of these throws, but I don't know. Keep trying me. I don't care.
You guys added some pieces with Sheldon Richardson in the offseason. You guys just got George Iloka, as we're seeing a big play right now for the Seahawks. Could be coming back, but Iloka comes on this team. He's already responsible for an interception out here today. How do you feel like he's going to fit into this defense?
Good. You know, I don't know him really well. He came to practice for the first time, but saw him make a play on that ball, tipped it in the air. We had a turnover. So I mean, anytime you can cause turnovers, you fit in well here.
So obviously you guys were awfully good on defense last year, and I know you guys are working through some things right now. You know, every year's a new year, but what do you guys have to do to improve to get ready for the 49ers here in about 2 weeks?
You know, there's a couple looks they gave us out there, you know, that we made mistakes on. You know, I made mistakes a couple times, third down. So just about cleaning things up, you know, getting communication down pre-snap. And just running to the football, staying in shape, you know, making the play when it's presented, man.
How do you feel like that is the conditioning component of it, where you guys are probably not going to take any reps next week, but you need to be in game shape here in a couple weeks?
Yeah, you know, you got to see. Sometimes you get different looks in the game type scenarios, and you got to make adjustments quick. And that's why it was good practice for us. You know, they came out and showed us a little bit different looks, and went back in, fixed it up a little bit, and that's what football's all about.
All right, man, appreciate it. There's your $50 million man, guys.
Right on. Eric Hendricks led the team in tackles 3 consecutive years. He is our man in the middle. So, while you were away, punt returner David Moore went to the house from 75, but there was a flag, and it brought it all the way back to the 31-yard line. And now C.J. Prosise ran for 7 yards, making it 2nd and 3. 3:15 and counting to go in the 3rd preseason game. Billed in much ballyhooed fashion as the final dress rehearsal for the 2018 regular season. Overall, you heard Ben talk to Eric about the defense. Eric said, hey, gave us a couple of looks out there we need to tighten up on. The Vikings' first defense against the run this evening, specifically in the middle, they got nudged a little bit, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. They had Sheldon Richardson got trapped a couple times in the same drive for a couple big runs. One was a big run for a first down.
False start. Offense, number 66. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
And the other one was for the touchdown. So, you know, Andre Patterson, he's one of the better coaches in this league, and he's going to have that thing drawn up, and they're going to be practicing in it. Points of emphasis for the next week. But you know, a trap is as simple of a play as you get in football, but it's still a pretty darn good one. When a Sheldon Richardson and your defensive line are getting upfield and trying to penetrate, that's a great counter to that. And Sheldon Richardson just, I don't think, did enough, and the linebackers got to see that and get downhill just a little, just to tighten some things up. Nothing drastic or major, and they'll get it fixed, I guarantee it.
Magoo, incomplete. A shot to Tanner McAvoy to the right side. Greg James came on a corner blitz. It was picked up beautifully. The right guard, 66 for Seattle right now. Familiar to some Vikings fans. He's Willie Beavers. Willie Beavers in his 3rd year from Western Michigan. Was an offensive lineman drafted a few years ago by the Vikings. Didn't work out here. Now he is all out to make this Seattle Seahawks team. To his right, a very interesting story. George Fant, in his 3rd year from Western Kentucky, a converted basketball player who's managed to stay on the Seahawks for 3 years. We're 2 years into this season. Oh, Magoo's hit. Magoo is smacked by David Perry. The veteran defensive lineman hits their third quarterback, forces a punt with 2.5 minutes to go. Vikes trail by 7.
Well, the veteran Perry, they just nice pass stunt where the 3 technique and the nose tackle just switch once they see the high hat. So that's a nice sack by Perry. And Paul, you mentioned George Fant. I remember a couple years ago when we went there, he was starting. They brought him out. The guy had, like you said, just played basketball, never played any football.
Yeah.
But got him in the game. I remember Steve Hutchinson talking about him and the potential that young man had with his size and speed. But, you know, the offensive line in Seattle has been a thorn in their side. They're not super deep. And these guys that we're seeing playing late into this game for Seattle, a lot of them we're going to see when we visit them in December.
Yeah, you see 27 left side on the punt return team. That's J-Ron Kearse. You know, he and Craig James are part of that vice against the gunner. Kearse playing at this stage of the game. They have a vice to the right side too. But Kearse, you know, when we talk about Iloka with Harrison Smith and Andrew Sendejo, Kearse is a key contributor on special teams. Laquan Treadwell also in the game on a punt return. And Chad Beebe retreats to the 12-yard line. And here comes Beebe trying to get the edge, and he does. 30, 35, 40 in front of his bench. Stiff arms the punter. How about that punter? Holy cow. Nice tackle on Chad Beebe, the rookie, Dixon. So the Vikings have decent field position with 2:25 to go in the game, trying to tie it. Chad Beebe.
Paul, the guy makes plays whenever he touches the football, and that's something that you look for as a coach. And if there's one guy on this team that's earned a spot on a practice squad or at least another look, it's Chad Beebe. He's done a lot of really good things this preseason, and you know we all know where he comes from. He's probably running post routes and things from the time he could walk with his dad, but very impressive young man.
The Vikings are either going to lose this game by 7, lose it by 1, or win it by 1. We'll explain momentarily. Sloter, and the pass to the right side is caught. Nice game by Tyler Hoppes. The Vikings are either going to lose 20-13, or they're going to score a touchdown, be down 1, go for 2, and not get it, or they're going to go for 2 and get it. Because now that they've seen Daniel Carlson hit an extra point after missing 2 field goals, pass left, caught Beebe at the 33, first down, 2-minute warning. There's absolutely no way Mike Zimmer is going to accept overtime in the preseason. Minute 58 to go in the game. Vikings threatening on the Vikings Entertainment Network. It's preseason football on the Vikings Entertainment Network. A look at John D. Filippo, our first-year offensive coordinator, quarterbacks coach for the champion Eagles last year. He is leading an offense led by that guy, Kyle Sloter. Played for the Vikings last year after Denver tried to sneak him on the practice squad. The Vikings paid a hefty price to get him here as the third quarterback, backing up Bradford and Case Keenum. Teddy Bridgewater also in the mix in recovery from that bad knee. Here's Sloter trailing by 7. That's incomplete. You know, the Vikings tight ends coach is Todd Downing. There he is, Eden Prairie High School native. Downing studied business communications at the University of Minnesota in the late 90s as a quarterback for the Eden Prairie Eagles. He won a state championship, a high school football championship. You remember him in 02 when you were coaching here. He was Mike Tice's right-hand man.
He was, and let Todd Downing serve as an example to everyone out there. If you refuse to quit and want to work, you can get as far in this league as you want, and Todd Downing's a perfect example of that.
No doubt. You know, he worked with offensive coordinator Scott Linehan. Sloter in trouble. Sloter throws it away. Feels like that'll be a flag. And now Mike Boone was close. You know, with Downing, now Boone's shaken up. Downing was worked in the media relations department for the Minnesota Vikings for long tenured media relations mogul Bob Hagan. And like you said, worked hard, did all the right things, and became an assistant in the quality control program for Mike Tice. Well, Scott Linehan, the offensive coordinator then, took a liking to Todd. So Linehan goes to Miami, Todd stays here, but then Scott got the head coaching job for the St. Louis Rams, and he brings in Todd Downing. Then he goes to Detroit. Downing follows him there as quarterbacks coach for Matthew Stafford. Eventually, he became quarterbacks coach for the Buffalo Bills, and last year was offensive coordinator for the Oakland Raiders. So you're right, all the way back to 2002. What a great career Minnesotan Todd has made for himself.
Absolutely, and it also goes to show you what you have to do as a coach in the NFL to make it, and that's move around quite a bit. And you know, I remember having a conversation with Todd at the end of the season in 2002, and telling him the key to coaching is hitching yourself to a rising star. And he got in close with Scott Linehan, and Scott Linehan is an excellent offensive coordinator, and was able to work with Scott until he was learned enough to become a coordinator himself. So just unbelievable.
3rd and 10. Beebe cold-blooded from Sloter, first down. You know, and with Downing, he's had the ultimate team player to him, because he came here from the Oakland Raiders after John Gruden was hired, and he blew up the staff and hired a special offensive advisor. So he's like working with DiFilippo as his right-hand man. And then sadly, due to the death of Tony Sperano, pass incomplete, the offensive line upheaval took place, and Clancy Barone and Andrew Janoku become the offensive line coaches. Well, now Downing becomes the tight ends coach, where he's still working in right-hand man-like fashion with certain situations with John DiFilippo, special blitzes and scenarios or blitz protection and stuff like that. But he's become the tight ends coach. So he's just the ultimate team guy. He's one of my favorite guys in my 17 years in the NFL.
He's coached some special teams. He's made his hay coaching quarterbacks. And you know, as an offensive coordinator, you should be able to coach every position on the field, and at least offensively. And he's able to do that. So, but right, you know, I look at Todd, and I feel like a proud papa because he was such a young guy.
Yeah.
You know, when we first started, and like I said, he's a perfect example of, if you get your foot in the door and work like no one else will, you can advance and get to where you want to be in this league. So, you know, my hat's off to Todd Downing, not only from getting his foot in the door, but what he did once he got his opportunity, and he's capitalized on it since.
So here we go, 20-13 Seattle, 1:16 to go in preseason game number 3. It's 3rd and 7. Kyle Sloter's the quarterback. Jake Winicky with a touchdown reception wide right. Chad Beebe slot right. Sloter, he's buried from behind. Holy cow, what a massive hit from the backside. That was Eric Walden, 11th year from Middle Tennessee State. Walden picked up this week when they cut Marcus Smith. Here comes 5-6, and there goes 1. Clock runs, 4th down, preseason game number 3 on the line. Sloter pointing, passing. Hey, it's caught for a touchdown, Chad Beebe. Kyle Sloter to Chad Beebe. And it's 20-19 Seattle with 47 seconds to go. Cold-blooded Kyle Sloter, well done.
How about Chad Beebe just catching everything thrown his way? And what a teachable moment for Seattle. Walden makes the big sack. They're celebrating. The Seattle Seahawks have to hurry to get back on sides for the next snap.
Yeah.
And how about Sloter getting just destroyed from behind, getting up, scrambling, making things happen, having faith in his guy down the field, Beebe, and he puts it right on the money.
Look at Beebe.
Yeah.
Let's go.
All the guy does is catch touchdowns, catch out routes, wiggle routes, stop the clock at 2-minute drills. The guy does everything. Here we go, 2 points.
He's like, my dad lost 6 Super Bowls, but I know how to win 1 preseason game. Here we go, 2-point conversion, 47 seconds to go. Kobe McCrary in the backfield. 2 receivers left and right for Kyle Sloter.
Charge timeout.
Come on.
Seattle, they're second. It will be 30 seconds.
Well, the Seahawks are 0-2 in the preseason, and Mr. Carroll definitely wants to win this game with that late timeout.
Very true. Ken Norton Jr.
Look at this route by 84.
Well, all the way across the field, and what happens, he runs it. He doesn't quit on the route because he knows he sees Sloter out there scrambling. He doesn't quit on the route and just keeps extending it all the way across the field. So that's
and he beat corner Mike Tyson. So Beebe was to that corner what Buster Douglas was to the boxer Mike Tyson. Just knocked him out.
That's fabulous. I mean, but you love seeing these young guys get out here and play. And the one thing with Beebe, he's been consistent. He's shown up in all these preseason games. so far, and tonight has been one of his better nights. And I guarantee you this, Paul, you look on the sideline, Ken Norton Jr., defense coordinator for Seattle.
Yeah, they got Ken Norton and Mike Tyson in their mix.
He's drawn. He drew a defense with everybody blitzing. This is going to be an all-out zero blitz. Get after Slaughter. Watch this.
Too much clock for Kyle.
Yeah, look at him.
Winicky. Oh, he got hit at the goal stripe. In for the 2. Maple Grove go crazy again. The Minnesota Vikings have taken a 1-point lead at the end of the 3rd preseason game. At least as preseason football goes, Slaughter, Winicky, you can't stop it.
Oh, you love seeing these young kids do what they do. Look at Chad Beebe getting in there and running the pick. So Beebe makes himself known and seen.
Look at Winicky.
Winicky just with that last second reach to get that thing in there. So what a great job. You got to be happy for guys like Slaughter, Winicky, and Beebe, all these guys that have been out there and continue to be out there. Avion Collins and all these other guys.
That's great, man.
You know,
I feel good for Winicky.
You do, and I'll tell you what, no matter who you are and what happened during the course of the game, it always feels better when you win.
Well, yeah. I mean, look at the Vikings bench right in front of us. You got Terrence Newman and Everson Griffin jumping up and down, celebrating.
Yeah, Everson Griffin was almost on the hash mark on the other side of the field, just having fun with it.
Yeah, and you got people listening and or watching now going, guys, calm down. It's only preseason. All right, tell everybody in front of us in the 25,000-30,000 left at U.S. Bank Stadium, it's called having a good time. And that's what Jake Winicky, Chad Beebe, Kyle Slaughter, and the rest of the guys in the Covenant are doing. Look at that.
Yeah.
I mean, Kirk Cousins, man. I mean, that's Jake Winicky.
It's good football, though, Paul. I mean, you know, if it's 3s versus 3s, this is good football. Slaughter playing well. Beebe playing well. I mean, Winicky playing well. It's fun to watch.
Yes. Tennessee on a Thursday close it up against the Titans. No Kirk Cousins, no Dalvin Cook, probably no Latavius, no Diggs, no Thielen, no Rudolph, but plenty of, they left too much clock for Kyle, and also Trevor Siemian. I haven't asked you this all preseason. What do you think of our backup Trevor Siemian?
I'll tell you what, I think he's done a nice job. He stood out a little bit. I mean, you kind of look at his body of work from last year. He's filled in and has that experience. So with limited offense that you have, you haven't seen a whole lot out of him.
Magoo, blitz, sacked, throws it away. 36 seconds to go. Huge rush came in that time from Rashard Clyett, second year from South Florida. Clyett. Brad Allen first.
It's second down.
This Brad Allen crew is, you know, the way a good officiated game, it's just the referees kind of blend into it. They don't stand out. They don't become the center of attention, and they have not tonight. This has been a very smooth project.
I want to see a George Iloka interception to seal the deal.
A Denebo sack.
Here's Magoo. Passes right, and it is bobbled and incomplete. You saw who was there on the scene, right? 28. George Iloka. Who says those for the Minnesota Vikings who wear 28 don't play preseason games?
Well, you expect a guy like Iloka with his talent and his experience when he's out here playing against 2s and 3s to stand out, and he has done exactly that. I mean, that's all you could ask for a guy coming in a short week, turning around and playing in purple. So, oh, you're right. This might be a big Iloka play coming up right here.
21-20, Vikings lead. 30 seconds to go. Magoo, blitz, hit, buried. Anthony Harris. He's like, Iloka, what? Watch me blitz.
Anthony Harris is that log jam at safety, and it's amazing. You bring in Iloka, and you're getting a very, very good game out of Anthony Harris. I mean, just blitz it from the outside. They had it set up. They had it set up very well. Adenabo taking up a tackle, leaves open the B gap, and Harris able to make the play. So defensively, these guys are definitely rising to the occasion as they get called to the sideline. This is just a little situational awareness here. Seattle out of timeouts. If you tackle them in bounds, this game is pretty much over. Coach is just saying, keep the ball in front of you. They don't have, you can't stop the clock, get the field goal team out here. So, hey,
yeah,
you guys up front, you 4 up front, you get after the quarterback, DBs, don't want anything behind you, and let's get out of here a winner.
Each team out of timeouts. Kyle Sloter to Chad Beebe, then Sloter to Winicky on the 2. Vikings lead by 1. 4th and 22 from the 18. Magoo, the quarterback for Seattle. The Vikings rush 5. Magoo steps up in the pocket, zips it over the middle. It's caught, first down at the 43. Clock runs. Seattle has no timeout. 16, 15, 14, 13, 12. We're down to 11, and Magoo is going to kill the clock. Boom. 6 seconds to go. Ben Lieber.
Yes, sir.
Back in the first half, let's put a wrap on this because we got the regular season on the Vikings Radio Network, KFAN, with Pete, yours truly, Greg Coleman, and you. What'd you think of Cousins and the defense just overall? 15 seconds.
I thought Cousins looked a lot better. I mean, his velocity was there. You could tell by the sense of urgency was there. We heard that from Kyle Rudolph, and I think that was apparent from the whole offense. So I liked it. I sort of wish there was a few more deeper shots, but I guess I understand what's going on with the offensive line. It's a smart play to not do that, but pretty good showing by both the offense and the defense today.
Magoo throws it out of bounds. Ben, great job this preseason as usual, man. Enjoy your college football work. Coming up next weekend, we'll miss you in Nashville. And we'll chat with you on KFAN Radio for the Vikings and the 49ers, man. Great work as usual. Ben Lieber, longtime linebacker in the NFL, and several of those years with the Minnesota Vikings. Our chief sideline analyst on the Vikings Radio Network and the flagship FM 100.3 KFAN. 2 seconds to go in the game. 21-20 Vikings. Magoo. Final play of the game. 3 Vikings, 50 yards from Magoo. Vikings rush 3. Magoo steps up. Now he rolls out to the right. He trips, stays up. We'll see how strong his arm is. Fires to the end zone, and it's caught at the 2, but that's short, and the game is over. They left too much clock for Kyle, as in Kyle Sloter. Leads the team down the field, wins in dramatic fashion, finding Chad Beebe, and then a 2-point conversion to Jake Winicky. Hey, Winicky is not making the final 53. Don't know if he's making the practice squad or not, but if only for an evening. Jake Winicky with a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. Well done, young man. All right. The Minnesota Vikings close the preseason Thursday from Nashville against the Tennessee Titans. We will be privileged that evening to have General Manager Rick Spielman join us for a majority of, if not all, the third quarter. The Vikings cut to 53, 8 days from today, September 9th, the regular season opener against the San Francisco 49ers. For Greg Coleman, Ben Lieber, and Pete Bursich, I'm Paul Allen. The Vikings beat Seattle in dramatic fashion, 21-20 from US Bank Stadium. Thanks for watching the Vikings Entertainment Network.